Hey everybody, welcome to Raptors In The Kitchen. It's Tuesday the 26th of August 2014. I'm your host Dan Kerr, joined by Paul Faulkner.
We just lost our viewer.
Ah!
It took a minute too long, and it all just fell apart.
Oh god, come back. We're actually talking about stuff now.
Yeah. So, hello Alan, how are you?
I'm good. I'm also joined by Paco Rodriguez.
Hello.
Earlier on before the show, we were trying out some voice tampering techniques.
Yeah, and one of them made me sound like a little girl.
I think Paco's voice does nothing for me now anymore. Now that I've heard him, I've heard him pitched down to sound like a weird creepy robot.
You once before actually described my voice as just flat out weird.
Well, only because I can't impersonate it. It's kind of.
You said that like it's like really deep but also high pitched.
It's like it's husky but like light. I don't know.
What does that even mean? Husky but light?
I don't know. Like
candy floss.
Like.
Well, sorry.
Like a burnt loaf of bread. You know,
like toast.
I guess so.
My voice is like toast.
Yeah, that's a pretty good description.
Does it have a picture of Jesus on it?
Knowing you, absolutely not. Lauren was also here.
Hey.
Her voice is like. Paco, help me out.
Fucking
Bubblegum and lollipops.
and hatred.
Hey, that's a good mix. I'll take it.
Oh! She hates the microphone so much she knocked it off the classy DVD case pile.
Yep.
Yes.
Stay collected. Oh, it's got a clown on it. Fuck. Okay.
You're not one of those, are you?
She's massively one of those.
A clown phobiast.
Is it chlorophyll? Is that what it's called?
It's another song. It's afraid of chlorine.
Afraid of cauliflower. On today's show, we'll have reviews of the Rover. What if?
What?
Yeah.
What if?
What if? What? Why?
No, what if?
What ifs?
What ifs?
No, not that film. No one saw that. Lucy and Laura's extra special day early screening of Sin City: A Dame to Kill For.
Wasn't it early? The buses say it's released
Today?
Alright, a few hours
Well,
early.
when this comes out, yesterday.
Oh yeah, this will be old news by then. Everyone will know who the film is. But I don't know. Paul, what have you been up to?
Me? Not a whole lot. I went back to college today.
Hey!
Was supposed to have like a 4-hour class.
Patronising!
Yeah. Like a 4-hour class with a lecturer who last year couldn't, like, usually 2-hour classes, she usually went for about 45 minutes. So Monday morning we have this woman for 4 hours. We're like, there's no way that we're going to last that long.
So would you say she's a premature
I have no
educator?
idea why. She's, like, there's a lot of, hey, want to just do some classwork? Good job, guys. Bye.
And that's it?
Very
Yes, yeah.
lackluster in her teaching.
Phoning it in?
Yeah.
So how long did she last?
Less than an hour. Which, I mean, part of that was like kind of because it was the intro class. However, like in that 45 minutes, I did a wee bit of work that I was super proud of. Like I was quite jazzed to be back, and like I wanted to do some work and be a bit creative. So she had us as PR. So she had us like write a holding statement to release whether like after the referendum, if your side as you were assigned had lost, you had to release a statement, and I wrote for Better Together if we lost. And it was really fucking good.
Is that because you are in the know? Sorry, you
Don't
are.
get that.
I mean, let's
Raptors in the Kitchen is the
Neutral.
one haven from that fucking nonsense just now, man. Let's say.
But I think. Yeah, I think I'm just quite.
You think you got to the park?
Yeah, like I'm really like we read it out at the end, just before the end of the class, and she applauded. I felt pretty fucking good about it.
Yeah.
Does she have like a massive no badge on her lapel?
Yeah, just fist pumping. And it is like kind of awkward because like the majority of the class is probably yes, or at least some of the more vocal people are. Which man, like there's one woman who she seems to have decided, like she's one of these people who now that it's coming up on her timeline, it's always just yes. Like it's important, blah blah blah. But every time there's kind of a silence in the class, or whatever, she seems to just want to bring up like.
Hey guys! Anyone thought about the referendum recently?
It's like I know writing stories and screenplays is good, but the referendum, y'all.
And I kind of made some kind of snarky remark. Somebody was like, "Oh God, are you like really know?" And I was like, "No, I just really hate unfunny people." Like, if she was funny with it, it would be fine. But instead, she's just
Annoying.
up the class thing. But yeah, so I think my lecturer like is no, and so it's kind of a bit weird seeing her trying to politely accept kind of like a lot of the very kind of explicit. No, fuck you. But no, so
Well, it was the no fuck you campaign.
but then yeah, I was like sitting for 4 hours waiting for my next class, and then that was a giant waste of time.
So
That's why you
good
should
to be
that's
back.
valid,
That's
man.
why you should buy a Vita and or a 3DS.
That like one of the girls just like pulled out a 3DS and was sitting playing.
Street pass that shit.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah. What was she playing? Something. Oh, it was a Harry Potter game.
Oh,
So I was.
no.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
the Harry
exactly.
Potter-
No, just like
Oh,
Harry
that's the
Potter
one,
and
the one acceptable one.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I keep getting like the Lego games for free, like with PlayStation
Oh,
Plus,
yeah.
and they're the only ones. Well, other than like the football games, I don't even bother to own them.
That was it. Kind of like she suddenly had it, and I was like, "Oh, like cool. We can have a wee conversation. That's been nice. You know, like what are you playing?" And she was like, "Oh, Harry Potter." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Which one?"
Yeah.
Order of the Phoenix.
What?
And I was like, "Oh, that's like one of the worst books. Never mind anything else." And so I was just like, "Oh, that's good. That game from
Presumably
5 years ago.
5 or 6 years ago.
Hold on, is it not even a Lego game? It's just a Harry Potter game.
just Harry Potter game." And she was like, I'm currently trying to get into Hogwarts. I need to fix some furniture with magic. I can't find the furniture." And I was right, so you're right at the very beginning of the game, and you can't do that. Okay, this has been lovely. Bye.
Bye.
And I just turned away from her.
I played some of the Order of the Phoenix game because it was like a free demo version of it.
Okay, yeah.
It was just kind of like an open world Hogwarts
Yeah.
game where it's like,
Go and do stuff.
get a quest from like, you know,
Dumbledore.
Sort of bully at Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Dumbledore sends you to do.
kind of like Bully at Hogwarts. Yeah, it's like, oh, I need 4 toads for my, toad potion. Go and get them. That was Hermione. It was Did you get that?
Yep, yeah, perfect. Yeah, it was a female in the Harry Potter universe, and she wasn't Asian, so
Cho Chan.
yeah.
Harry.
Is it not like a little Scottish girl in it?
Hi, Cho Chan.
Oh, I hate her voice so
Cho-Chan.
much.
Cho Chan.
Cho-Chan.
Harry?
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, working away. People at my work, like bosses and stuff, keep saying I'm pretty like I've made it good with the bosses.
Oh yeah.
Like apparently right attitude.
So what does that mean? The rest of the staff hate your guts?
No, like I think most of them are kind of grateful to have somebody. There's another kid who started. Who I hope never hears this.
Another one. You look at yourself as a chick.
Yeah. Another youngster, another with a glint in his eye, and a spring in his
Another
step.
noob.
And apparently he's
Not
doing
little.
so well.
He's
Yeah,
no Paul Walter.
well, that's exactly yeah. Doesn't have my charm, my winning smile,
Few do.
my grumpy demeanour, my passive aggressive dealings.
That's why they call you Paul the package faulter.
Weirdly, ironically, they don't put total in there.
He's a package. Paul a package.
Yeah, no, week's been okay. Thank you. It's been like Danny's been away for all of it.
Fright Festing.
Yeah, she's been freak fest.
I understand she had some hot news.
VHS viral, of which like the first one, Alan and Laura very very vocally did not enjoy. I don't know if you ever went to watch.
No, like it's one of those ones that I keep kind of scooting past it and
And then just think
like,
yeah.
oh man, I kind of want to watch that, but everyone says it's fucking honking.
Also,
Yeah.
it's about 3 hours long.
And it's fucking honking.
Which she was a supporter of, and she seemed to like at least parts of the second one.
Here's the thing. Up until about 16 minutes ago, me and Laura didn't know there was a third one.
yeah.
Alex
Clearly,
said
the market was
it.
being so strong for this one. And she texted just as we were sitting prepared and said that the third one is hot garbage.
Wow. Did she like the second one?
Like definitely vignettes of it. She showed me one, like she specifically looked one up on YouTube with me one day and kind of showed it to me, which I didn't think was great. Well, that was like it was a weird alien invasion one, and a lot of it like it was kind of like a dog, like the camera was tied to a dog's collar, yeah. Which initially kind of seemed like a fun idea, but then they didn't really. Like then at some point they picked up the dog and started carrying the dog around. It was like, oh, right, okay, so exactly. Yeah. And that kind of just fell apart a wee bit. Like, oh, the kind of original idea was a bit lost in translation.
Is VHS the one where like it goes through the alphabet and it's like a
No, that's the ABCs of Death.
right, which was good.
That again is some of them are good, more good than bad, but it's
The ABCs of death.
Death.
They're not as the
It's
segments
not
aren't
as
as
long.
long.
Yeah,
and
it's all
tedious
So
as
VHS,
this
like
one.
I'm just trying to remember, I've definitely seen the trailer. So I remember like there's like hands coming through doors in the
Yeah.
floor and stuff.
Yes, yeah, that's
One
one of
point,
the
yeah.
stories, yeah.
That bit looked cool. So it was,
Yeah.
yeah. No, we were not fans.
No, yeah.
So VHS viral was the third one.
That's good. That's very internet-y. That's like it's
YouTube
relevant. Yep,
and
yeah.
stuff.
We know what's going on. Hashtag
YOLO.
VHS.
Like, do you know what isn't very kind of internet-y?
The word viral.
VHS.
VHS.
Yeah.
Like, not viral. It's a very internet-y thing. Like,
They're
sure,
trying
they should
to
call the
mesh-
sequel DVD.
They're trying to mesh like the hipster
Like,
nostalgia of VHS and the coolness of vinyl together.
Do you think you still get like people who insist on only watching movies on VHS because like it's the most
The pure format.
the purest format to watch everything on? Like the way you get those wankers who listen to nothing but vinyl.
I'm sure it's more.
Did we mention this?
I think it's more likely you get people that watch Laserdisc than VHS, because VHS is clearly
HD.
is not the way to go.
What, Betamax, man?
No, I mean, just looking back now, it's clearly like indisputably inferior to anything else we have.
What VHS is?
Yeah.
Well, the only thing I will...
DVD is obviously infinitely better than VHS. There's no argument about that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's still just a certain there's just a certain quality to, and like specific movies. I can understand people like Taxi Driver. There are people who are just like, I want to watch like a VHS. I want to watch a
Yeah,
dirty,
different childhoods.
nasty
Because I
version.
watched,
Yeah.
the only thing I will ever watch on VHS that I still have copies of is
Porn.
Star Wars. The original Star Wars
Yeah,
ones,
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
the original ones,
Yeah.
and I'm like, it's not touched by
Yeah,
fucking George.
Yeah, I've got the original Star Wars as well. Just the very first one, I don't have the other ones.
Well, they're doing this. Guy on the interwebs is doing a remaster of a Blu-ray, like a HD remaster of the original movie without all the shit George has
Didn't they
added.
bring that out?
Yeah, he's already got the first part. So he's
No,
going
no.
for
I
the
mean, like,
second.
didn't like LucasArts bring out a version? Well,
Disney. Is it
Lucasfilm.
Disney that's done it?
Lucasfilm, LucasArts.
Yeah.
Spot the gamer.
No, yeah, I was reading an article about this recently.
Yeah.
They did release it, but like they didn't. I don't know. It was like the scope was all wrong, so there was like black
Yeah.
bars on the side and on the top, so it was like a tiny little picture in the middle, and it was like as if George Lucas was like, "You want it as original was? Here it is. It looks shit.
Dickheads.
That's what you have to watch now." Yeah.
You know, like watching one of the remastered ones, and like there's a scene. I think it's when they're trying to get away from the Death Star. It looks on one of the guns.
Mhm.
Like it cuts to like an external shot, and you see the TIE fighters flying in. But like whoever had worked on it had done a really bad job of like masking how it was digitally composed against the foreground. You can see like a big fucking orange box around the TIE fighters flying in. It's like that wasn't there in the original movie. Now that it's remastered, it is there. Like what the fuck? I don't know, these people should be fired. Never be allowed to work again. Anyway.
So, how did they go to Star Wars? VHS.
VHS, yeah. All
So it's
movies.
not good. And what's the premise of viral? Does the name have anything to do with the studio?
Yeah, I would assume that maybe.
Well, they found a
maybe
hard
it's not
drive,
one
so
of
it's
yeah, that's exactly like I was
Is
saying.
it that people watch the tape, then they've got a week to make someone else watch the tape, or they die, and that's where the viral aspect of it comes in, when it's like it spreads across the nation.
what, like from the ring? Is that?
Yeah, I was going to say.
the what?
Poor Paco, little does he know.
What did you do, Paco, this week?
we mentioned this before that like it's no longer really news.
Yeah, you go hell walking.
I claimed yet another Renault, the biggest one this year.
Good.
But yeah.
What was it? What one?
What's usually the biggest one?
What was it last year?
Sure, there must be some kind of change with that. Is it like,
Change?
yeah, like there must be like some sort of.
Only over millions of years, I think, for that change.
I don't know, like so many people go up Ben Nevis like at any given.
You
day.
think they're wearing it away?
Yeah, like erosion.
Yeah,
So sticking to their boots and stuff. There's like
erosion is not working that way.
100,000 people a month or whatever.
What?
Like, you
If
know,
that was the case,
like
then
bits
if that
of
was the
Ben
case,
Nevis in the
Times Square will be underground by now. Listen to what you're saying.
No, because
got cement on
yeah, exactly.
Come on.
Like the fucking government, the man, like they resurface that stuff. They don't resurface Ben Nevis.
Do you know who does? God.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah,
Thanks, God.
I'd like to think it's a different, scientifically speaking, you know, it must be like a different height from last year.
Maybe by like a millimeter?
Yeah, I was going to say it must be so small.
Not even a millimeter.
Still though, there's still a discrepancy.
Okay.
You know, you need to start doing, get up to the top of those mountains and jump. Just keep on jumping for a good half hour. Yeah, just do your bit for
like
that.
kick bits off.
Yeah, exactly.
Get down on the ground and look for like the biggest rock and then chuck that one away.
Yep, yeah, halfway up and just start with a spoon right into the side of it.
Yep, sounds like a plan.
Oh, you look like such a madman.
So it was,
No.
What you doing?
That's
Searching for
cheap.
gold?
so it was 3,233 feet.
Wow.
Wow, man.
Is that a lot?
This Ben Lomond's 3,100.
Oh,
The
right.
Cobbo's 2,900.
Oh, is that all?
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, that's a bit a lot more.
Like Ben Nevis is 4,400. So that
Is that the one you're working up to?
Well, I've done it before.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, like years
Uh-huh.
ago. So before I was really into this whole thing, but it's good. Like it is really good though. Like because the place we went this time was just next to a place called Loch Erin. It's like about half an hour past Calendar, like north past Calendar.
Didn't know there was a place called Calendar.
Yeah, it's supposed
Really?
to be on there. Yeah.
Okay.
Before I met you, I didn't know there was a place called Shots either.
Yeah, but like Calendar's kind of more important than Shots. Being like
Is
Shots is just
Is that where they invented the calendar?
yeah.
Alright,
It's
that's
just, it was invented by Jimmy Calendar.
Uh-huh.
You always just wanted to found a town and instead created the way that we follow our day-to-day living.
Like events, all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like event planning, it's all down to him. Be Jimmy and Calendar, still there.
Mr. Calendar, please.
Mr. Calendar to who isn't home. But yeah, like it's quite a distance north. So like it's on, like geographically, it's kind of on a par with Dundee and Perth.
Okay.
So like if your kind of knowledge of Scottish geography is any good, it's quite far north.
My geography is abysmal.
But from the top of this peak, I could see the hills just north of Glasgow.
Wow.
So that's quite a fucking distance. Like we were lucky enough for it to be a clear day. Where like it was like I struggle as well. Like I've done it like this is my fifth one this summer, and like the other ones I kind of got a bit knackered with and stuff. But this one I was like struggling to get to the top. It was like there was no clear path, like picking your way through loose rock and all the rest of it. And, like it's really steep and all that shit. So it was like all I was seeing was the track in front of me, and then I got to the top without really realising it, and just I could just see for miles. It was just sort of like fucking. I think I actually did go fucking hell. Like, you know, so I wasn't expecting it. It was really cool. It's good. Cool.
And then you watched some Voyager, but you know we have to talk
Yeah.
about
Yeah. Also, did the Ice Bucket Challenge that Jenny Young nominated all the Raptors for, but so far only me and Tommy have done.
I am doing mine on Wednesday.
It's supposed to be within 48
I know,
hours.
I've not even had the chance to.
Yeah, Alan's response was just, I don't do internet things.
Well, that's like, I thought we would try and do it as a group, and then Alan immediately
Yeah.
reacted like that,
Yeah,
and then
you
you and
did it.
Tommy did it separately, so it was like, alright, okay, well, I guess.
I had an idea of how I would do it, but I'm not going to do it because it would take me
Alright, okay.
like I don't know, maybe I won't say it in case I do eventually do it, but it's a lot of effort, a lot of work.
Well, before I came across that perfect location,
Yeah, yours was good,
Therefore,
tell each other.
like I ended up jumping in a river for mine, like with my underwater camera, so you got to see me under the water getting drenched, which was kind of fun.
That's a lot.
But yeah, before that, like I was thinking of just doing one where like, obviously I'm just doing this because I'm trying to get my money's worth out of the phone. I was going to try and secure the phone to the bottom of the bucket. Look into it.
Like a bucket's eye view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking of doing stuff where like, you know, doing one where I'm sitting with a drink and like ask someone to pass me some ice and like they throw the bucket with the ice water and stuff and I just try not to react at all and then take a sip afterwards.
Oh, there was a good Nick Offerman, that's kind of what you did.
Is that what you did?
Yeah, he was kind of
Great
standing
names, great names.
and poured over and he was like, oh, you know, when does it happen? And then
Yeah.
he was like,
Yeah, just be cool about it, man.
Since I'm absolutely not going to do it, I'll just tell you my idea was, you know the scene in Fight Club where it's like, I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Like buy the costumes, like find the location, film it in the exact same style and do it like that, except instead of punching each other, throw water on each other. But no, I'm not going to do it. Because, I mean, where am I going to get a red leather jacket from? And,
Yeah.
you know, I don't have the visual eye that David Fincher has either. It's going to be difficult.
yeah.
But
I've been telling you that for
that,
years.
that car park next to the cinema.
Yeah. Oh well. Oh well. Laura, how's your week been?
It's been alright. It's just been pretty quiet, pretty chilled. Watched Sunset 2 today.
More on that later.
It was not
More on that
good.
later.
And then I got home and I got a tax rebate today.
Oh, hey! And the drinks are on, Laura.
So I'm a happy chap.
You don't want to spend it on you?
Nope.
Don't spend it on something boring like bills.
No, I'll probably actually spend it on going to a night class at like Glasgow Uni. I think I'm doing.
What a sensible thing to do.
Nerd!
Hey man.
A night class on what?
Either the sensible option is French,
Mm.
or the option that I was discussing with a friend of the show, Kasper Kuznetsky, which is the most reckless option, Egyptology. So
Hell yeah!
I think my head is like, you're French,
I
Lord,
would
but my
argue
heart
that
is like,
there's nothing sensible about France anyway. So, Egyptology at least sounds fun.
it sounds cool, so I think Egyptology is going to be
What
the
would you
thing.
do with Egyptology?
I don't know, learn
Right.
shit. Learn shit.
With French, you know, you can go to France,
Who would like that?
Good.
get a job, I don't know, translating.
With one language, almost certainly not.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I could go to French Canada and
That'd
talk
be-
there.
Yeah.
French Canada's the best Canada.
That's the best with poutine and Terence
What
Bell.
is poutine?
Poutine? It's
But
chips.
we had this conversation the other day.
It's chips, I'm in.
Poutine is basically.
Wait, no, hold on, is it chips in like the American sense? Is it chips in like the
It's-
Potato
proper
chips, French fries.
It's French. It's like fries, but chunkier fries.
freedom fries?
Mhm.
Fruit fries. So it's chips, not chipper chips, but like fried chips, with in a big plate with gravy and cheese curds. Which,
I'm in,
right?
I'm all in.
But there's a place in town called Breads Meets Breads,
Mm.
which is
Oh,
fantastic.
bread meets bread.
Yeah.
Not burger meets bun. Bread meets bread. Bread meets bread is better than burger meets bun.
Say that 10 times fast.
Some kind of weird game of paper rocks.
So they do burgers, sandwiches, and they also do fantastic poutines. You can just get a plain poutine, or you can go for bacon, burgers,
Ooh.
cold mixed meats, and
So it's chips and cheese covered in gravy,
yes,
but like you can add random delicious
add
shit.
meat to it.
Yep. That sounds like my kind of gig.
It's good. Poutine, and it's fun to say and fun to eat.
How about that? Bread meets bread this week.
It sounds
Ooh.
so much more delicate though. Poutine sounds
Yeah.
like
When you know what
it
it
should
actually
be
is, yeah.
some form of couscous or something.
I think it's like it's the hipster gravy cheese and chips, but the cheese curds aren't exactly super cheesy. But you just got a wee hint of cheese and a wee bit of kind of tang to them. It's super young.
So you were in
Recommend.
bread meets bread this week?
Mm-hmm.
What did you get?
I had, what do you call it? It was like pastrami and mozzarella toasty, more or less. It was really good though. I wasn't full enough to eat it, and I felt bad because you know that way it's like it's really good and I want to finish it all, and the waitress is looking at me like, you don't fucking like that, do
Come
you?
on. Yeah, come
I'm
on.
like, no, I really do like it,
I
but
brought that
just
with
not
my
that
bare
hungry.
hands.
But that was good. You watched Blackfish, Laura?
I did watch
I heard
Blackfish.
I heard that's really good and will put you off like ever
It is,
you
it's like-
any sort of zoo or anything.
It's heartbreaking. It is so heartbreaking. The fact that like it's obviously it's about having large killer whales in general in captivity to perform for us, and in particular it kind of goes through the history of one killer whale called Tilikum, and he is like 16 foot, couple of tons. He's giant. And it kind of goes from when he was captured in the wild, and they talked to some of the guys that captured him, who were orca catchers in the 70s, and it kind of
How long do whales live for?
this is one of the things that they kind of cover. In the wild, they can live up to like 90, 100, like they can live really really long lives, but in captivity, they can live to 30 to 40 years. But SeaWorld, it's about SeaWorld in particular. But SeaWorld's propaganda says in captivity they live longer, so they live 40 years, but in the wild they live less than 40 years, which is total shite. Well, what this documentary is saying is completely shite, I don't know. Because it is incredibly biased, but there is there's a lot of experts, marine biologists, whale experts, all this kind of stuff. So it kind of follows this whale's life and how he became responsible for killing quite a lot of humans. He was tortured, like kind of, his upbringing was not the best. Like he was kept in like a metal cage and with like 3 other killer whales, and they do this thing called raking where they like rake their teeth down their backs, and there's loads of scratches, and it's horrible. So he wasn't raised
Was
properly.
he like the runt of the litter?
He was bullied. He was bullied by the other whales, and then he kills one woman, and then SeaWorld are like, we need a breeding male. We're going to take him because this place is closing down because it's not doing. The place where he was in Canada wasn't doing well, so SeaWorld took him. He's giant fucking 16-foot whale, and they put him into this tiny little enclosure and make him perform, and it just kind of. There's other instances of where whales are killing people, and it kind of goes to this kind of drifter guy turns up he breaks into SeaWorld, and they find his body on top of Killian naked, which is really, really weird. So
What is he doing?
he must have like broken into SeaWorld because somebody ride a whale and they choose killing him, which is the whale that kills people. And none of the SeaWorld, there's like interviews with ex-SeaWorld employees, and none of the SeaWorld employees were ever told that this whale had killed people. So it's just kind of talking about like this whale's obviously got a lot of psychological damage from when he was younger, and they're using this whale to perform, so they're using this whale to do tricks and stuff, which is just crazy. And recently, the kind of documentary finishes off with a court case. Like, the big kind of climax is.
Sorry, image of a whale in court.
I'm thinking like the clues in the name.
Killer whale?
Well, this is a marketing thing where it's only known as a killer whale because of the murders that have taken place due to captivity. Like, a big part of it is how
Orcas in the
not-
wild kill.
They're not humans. They don't really go near humans. They're really friendly towards
there's
humans.
a
They
big
don't.
part of how community spirited they are.
Yeah, they're very much social animals, and they get depressed and they have grief. They're like. There's a neurologist on the documentary, and they do a kind of CT scan of an orca brain, and they notice that their kind of like communication and kind of social part of their brains is larger than a human's is, so they rely on their family and their pods so much. That's how they kind of relate to each other and how they develop.
Yeah, there's stories of like whole families kind of throwing themselves up on a beach when one dies
Yeah,
because they're just so
themselves
grieved.
because they're
Yeah, but that's like
strong.
for other whales, like not for humans.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
there's just not this like there's just not recorded cases of people being killed
Killed
by
in-
whales.
in-
And again, this,
I read a book once that I've forgotten. It was called Ice Station Zero.
okay.
In that, there was killer whales that were jumping out of the water to eat people.
Well, you know what, you have turned my opinion on that.
They would swim by the people first, so they could mark out to the rest of the pod that was like theirs, that they were marking for the kill, and then they would like
So
come
is this
back
a
and,
real
like, eat it.
fiction? Is this a fiction book or a non-fiction book?
It's very fictional.
You would swim by and flash their lights. And
Yeah,
they're like,
yeah,
the whales
yeah.
know.
So it's pretty prevalent now, because at the end of this documentary, well, near the climax of the documentary is that what the head trainer in SeaWorld, I'm pretty sure it's Florida, that they're Telecom kills her, like scalps her and
Yeah,
kills
look,
her. It's horrible.
see, I
Scalps
was
her.
gonna ask, is this like? I was gonna ask if this is the one about like it grabbed one of the trainers by the hair and just pulled her.
It
under.
didn't. It grabbed her by the foot and pulled her in and scalped her in front of an audience. Like, it was in a nighttime show that she was doing. She was a head trainer. She was this
Very
like
experienced.
very experienced, all about safety, and this whale just killed her. And the kind of American Health and Safety government department, or whatever the equivalent is, has took SeaWorld to court and says, you're not providing your employees with safe working conditions. You need to take your trainers out of the water. And SeaWorld have fought it, and then the judge presiding agreed with the health and safety guys, and the documentary closes by saying SeaWorld have appealed this. And the documentary closes with the ex-SeaWorld trainers going out and beating a real pod of killer whales, which is fantastic, and they kind of respect these whales more. But just this week, they appealed. They've been thrown out of court again, so SeaWorld will not have trainers with the whales in the water. They have to have a physical barrier between themselves and the whales, which is...
That seems like a sensible thing
It's a
for something
sensible
called a
fucking
killer
thing.
whale.
Yeah.
See, like when he rips the scalp off, they just come back up to the surface and just like show this
weird.
just drop it. Are you not entertained?
So there's so many, and you see so many instances. Like there's one in Tenerife when SeaWorld give an orca to a Tenerife kind of sea life park.
Is this the guy who gets dragged down
Yeah.
twice?
Yep, and
Yes.
it kills him. And then there's another instance of when this really other experienced trainer, who's also a scuba diver, very experienced scuba diver.
Oh, so yeah,
This
that's
guy,
something. Yeah,
The whale, him and this whale, this female whale, have been working together for like 15 years. This is his whale, basically. His whale. And during a live show, the whale just like, fuck you, and just starts dragging them down to the bottom for like minutes at a time and bring them up. It just does that like for 10 minutes. And this guy, you think he would be like panicking. He's just so relaxed, so placid about it. And there's real footage of this happening. The guy's stroking the whale. He's obviously trying to calm it down to be like, please let me go, please let me go. And eventually the whale lets him go. And he just swims over and he gets out, and like you can see that his leg is just fucked. And there's another instance where a woman gets her arm broke, her arm's like bent, and it's just
Do you know what, like, the weird thing to, like, I mean, like,
Terrifying.
other than the fact that it's just weird in general, like, I always just assumed that, like, something that big with teeth would just bite you to fuck. Like, it's the
Bite
fact
through
that
it? No.
just to sort of
Yeah.
drag people down all the time,
Yeah.
like this.
it drags and it
crazy.
flips you around, and but it just shows that these are giant animals that really probably shouldn't be getting used.
So-
for that kind of stuff.
I saw, like, a different thing on, I think it was on IGN,
Mhm.
about Blackfish, about how, when it first came out, SeaWorld had claimed that it hadn't affected their
Business.
business whatsoever.
Mm.
Like, in the past week or two, they've now come out and said that there's been a sharp decline
Yeah.
in sales and stuff.
Because people are picketing outside of SeaWorld,
Ah, cool,
saying
yeah.
don't go near them, and
I know, like, a lot of people have had, like, they kind of seen on the internet, like, a lot of celebrities having a very visceral reaction to it, and but I didn't know whether that would have drift over into, like, a real. But that's good that there's actual action taking place, I suppose. There's, like, I read a wee bit about it kind of after it had come out last year, and talking like a lot of the people who are involved as kind of witnesses, all kind of they're positioned as like separate voices, but in actual fact, like a lot of them work for the same one. Like the movie had like an agenda, yeah, and so all of these people were found in the same group, which like everyone has their agenda, you know.
Does it have like talking heads of the whale? It's been like, I was in a really bad place.
But it's all blacked out, so
Things are really difficult.
I'm like a giant sheep.
kill him, T whale.
Kill him too. Like it's really kind of heartbreaking, and it's really sad because one of the whale experts is like, we've never ever had a case of a human getting killed in the wild.
Mm.
They're really friendly. They're really curious creatures. They'll come up and
Never.
never
They're gigantic and have teeth.
they're gigantic and have teeth, but
So maybe you'll know to stay away from them in the wild.
You'd think, yeah.
so it's just kind of.
I see people who surf in Hawaii. I don't get it. Why would you do it?
For the
Sharks everywhere.
Maybe they're called killer whales because they're named after like surfer dudes. That's a killer
Killer
whale,
whale.
dude. It's a red shark, bro. It's riding the wave.
But they're not actually whales, are they?
Whales? No, I think whales are whales. Yeah.
No, like, as in like killer whales aren't like a genus of the whale family.
Are they
They're
called
actually,
dolphins?
yeah, they're related to dolphins.
Yeah.
My friend was recently swimming with dolphins in Tenerife.
They've also got teeth.
most things have
Don't
teeth.
feed them cheeseburgers.
A lot of
Yeah.
things in the sea don't normally though. Like I mean, sharks do obviously, but yeah, like most fish don't have teeth.
Well, that dolphins
So mammals.
are mammals, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that like the difference?
No, but like the to be a mammal, you know, there's like loads of different
Yeah, but
things
it's
to it.
yeah.
Like yeah, it's like you know they look like fish, but like they're more closely related to like land-faring creatures. They give
That
birth
fish.
rather than laying eggs. All that sort of nonsense. They're covered in hair. Is one of the stipulations.
Mmm.
Yeah.
That sounded more sort of sexual than ooh. Dolphins.
Yeah, but watch Blackfish. Watch it. It's very interesting, and it does have an agenda. But every single documentary.
Yeah, it's a very convincing agenda.
Take it with a pinch of salt.
Speaking of documentaries, you should watch Paco. You should watch The Imposter. Which,
Yeah, holy shit.
you've seen it, Laura, yeah?
Nope.
Oh no! Oh, you should also watch them. What was out like maybe
2
6 months
years.
ago?
Oh no, like maybe 2 years
Longer than
ago.
that?
Yeah.
All right, I'm okay.
So why me?
Just because you haven't seen it, I didn't know Laura hadn't seen it either. But no, yeah, like I've seen it when it first came out. Maybe let's see what
Is it actually
Yeah,
something
you
I'm
mean
going to be
Christmas
interested in though?
I think anyone who's a human being will be interested in it. It's great.
It's
Is
such
it
a
about
crazy story.
Replacing the government with lizard people?
If only. It's
You're not that far off though.
You must have heard about it. It's about the story of a little he's a like 13-year-old American boy from Texas who goes missing.
Then it shows back up when the mum claims it's not him.
No, 3 years later he shows up, and everyone believes it is him, but it's not him. It's like
Spanish boy.
it's like some
or Spanish man.
22-year-old Spanish man who pretended to be this lost kid, and
Right.
it's about how all the family bought it, and everyone at the school bought it, and the government bought it and stuff, and how he got it's interviews with the actual man who the imposter himself, interviews with him, and like he's such a
Charismatic,
he's
really
such an interesting person to listen to, but he's clearly
Insane.
insane.
The something about that's really creepy. Like,
It's so
especially,
creepy.
Well, that's like
It's
the
so
film.
creepy.
Like, I mean, that is like the first half, maybe the first 2/3 of the movie,
Yeah,
and the
then
last
when it
third
goes,
suddenly it twists again, and like because
he is the boy.
yeah. Like we're talking, I mean, it's not a massive spoiler to talk about like how ridiculous it is that the boy who went missing is like blonde.
Yeah,
And
the differences between the two,
It's like
the
night
two
and day.
could not be more apparent. And so he starts to bring into question later on in the film about, well, you've got to ask questions about the family and why were they so willing to believe that I was the boy when they were himself, and he kind of like gets you on his side at points. It's very, very well done, very interesting.
like it's such an interesting to have like a documentary which is all about, you know, in theory the truth, or it's about kind of revealing something, or it's about making some kind of point, and yet the narrator that we're following is a liar. Yeah, is somebody who we can't trust at all. And so all the way through you've got to question what he's doing, and then he, as you say, brings up whether or not the family might be liars, and so suddenly everybody who you're hearing a story from,
You just second guess everyone all the time. And
How did you get caught out?
I think.
Because there's one guy, this one detective guy who's the best thing in the whole movie. He's like, so I took this picture and I put it into Adobe Photoshop.
Is it essentially something that happened?
Yes, yeah, but he's just this one guy who's like just thinks it's all fishy.
Yeah, he was basically like nobody else.
Yeah, he's like, really crazy pills here.
Crazy pills.
That is basically that. And he just points out, he's like, open your eyes, idiots. It's not the same guy.
Are you fucking kidding?
Yeah. It's fantastic.
Is it on the Netflix?
It is, yeah, that's where I watched it.
Is that crime? Is that guy who's the
Well, he falsely gets US citizenship, so that's like a big crime.
fraud.
And like other stuff.
And-
Like
So, let me get this straight. He wasn't American.
he was Argentinian.
I thought it was Spanish.
No, he was
Or he was Lebanese.
he was French, living in Spain. I think is what happened.
Yeah, okay.
See?
French,
That's
living
why
in
he
Spain.
learned French.
Yeah.
Cool.
But like he got American citizenship.
Yep. It is bonkers. It is unbelievable.
He like the story where he runs through about the lies that he had to tell like the police and stuff, because he kind of claims that he was abducted, obviously, and like the tale of what happened to him while he was missing is like, you know, why is your hair a different color? Why are your eyes a different color?
Yeah, his eyes are a different colour.
Like he just.
He speaks with a French accent.
And the police buy it?
Yup, yeah.
Everyone buys it.
You know,
I don't want to watch this because I'm already getting angry at the prospect.
do you know the I Love You, Philip Morris? And it ends
Yeah,
with,
yeah.
like, nobody ever gave me an AIDS test. It's that kind of length of just complete
You're like-
incompetency,
Okay, someone said that's all by it. I'll go with
Then
it.
there's
It's not my job.
incompetence and there's like
insanity.
looking at one person and it not being the person they're claiming to be. Like, what?
Yeah, it's really great. Like
I don't know if I could watch that. I don't know if I could watch it without just
again, like
hating the
The guy
world
is
more than I
unbelievable,
already hate
yeah.
the world.
I'd like to watch it with you. So just like I was watching it, like Amy had never seen it. I was watching it for the first time, and just seeing her just being like, what? How's this happening?
See, like, this is the thing. You know fine well that like I'm already like such a fucking cynical, pessimistic person, and yet like the only time you express interest in kind of doing stuff with me is to watch me being more wound up at like how shit people are, how fucking shit people are.
But like, I mean, you get to the end, and it's like there's clearly a lot wrong with this guy. So he's very interesting to listen to and watch. But it's a great movie. It's very well put together. It plays like a drama, like because it's such a unbelievable concept.
It's like equal parts creepy and frustrating already.
I'm intrigued though. I'm intrigued to see how
Fantastic.
fucking idiotic these people are.
Yeah, like even the stuff I've told you, like I'm leaving out some of the more the more ridiculous part. You're like, what? And then like the stinger right at the end, like it tells you like what is going on with his life now. You're like, what? Anyway,
Okay.
let's look at some movie news. Paco Rodriguez, you've read The Stand, correct?
No, I've seen the old TV show.
What's the book that you have read that you say the end is ridiculous and you hate it? Another.
Oh, Stephen King.
Another
No,
Stephen
like,
King book.
like I've not read The Stand, but I've hated the end of
Right,
the
okay,
TV
so
show. It was
okay, I
ridiculous.
see, okay. Well, you know they're making a movie of that.
Yeah, we have known for like
Yeah.
a year.
Well, that one, Matthew McConaughey is the guy they want for the main role.
Okay.
So I'm just asking you if you think that's a good
Put
choice.
Matthew McConaughey in anything, and that is a good choice.
That's kind of how
That's
I feel.
now the point we're at.
Sorry, for the news to be like, oh, a film wants Matthew McConaughey to be the lead.
Yeah.
It's like, yup, of course. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure there are a lot of projects out there which are in the exact same position.
Just because I knew Paco had an opinion of The Stand.
It's like, what, you're making a comedy? Put Matthew McConaughey in it.
Mm.
As lead, why not? You're making like a detective thing? Yeah, put him in it. Yep.
Yeah.
You're making The Stand, a crazy fucking apocalyptic thing where God... No, I'm not going to waste it. I'm not going to waste it. Yep, put him in it. You know, If you're interested, the original TV show of The Stand is now on Netflix.
Ooh. Is there anything that's not on Netflix?
Yeah.
Sin City,
The
the
Winter
first
Soldier.
one.
Oh.
Oh really?
Before-
Oh, I
yes.
watched that.
Yes.
I couldn't find it.
Get that US Netflix.
I've got US Netflix.
It's,
Oh,
no, it's on the British
Switch
Netflix.
back to that British Netflix.
See, that's the beauty of having like a PlayStation with the
Yeah, I've
regular
got both.
Netflix and the
Right,
PS4
okay, I will watch that one again.
I should do that. I should set up the 360 for one region
Yeah.
and one for the other one. Yeah.
If I could be bothered, I would set up the Xbox for Canadian Netflix, but I haven't been bothered.
I haven't been bothered. Steven Spielberg's talking about developing Minority Report in a TV show, which seems like it would work. Procedural cop show where it's
Based in the near
pre-cog
future.
crime and all that sort of stuff.
Future Science.
Did you like Minority Report?
I did, but the problem with it is that the movie's all about why that system doesn't work, and by the end of the film, it's
Done. Yeah.
Yeah, well, what I would say was like over the course of the whole series, like at the end of the first episode, Tom Cruise's surrogate character finds out, oh no, they think I'm going to do something, and then the course of the series is him like trying to clear his name, or whatever.
What was this?
Like
Tom?
kind of the fugitive mixed with.
As Tom Cruise. The Tom Cruise.
Yeah, Tom Cruise is like plays himself, and he gets accused of kidnapping this young actress and brainwashing her, forcing her to have a child with him.
Oh God.
like
With
kind
intentions to leave her at the age of 30.
of spoilers from Minority Report here, like the actual original film.
It's been.
I think it's
a
probably
pretty old
okay.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's quite fucking old.
Yeah.
Like,
It's good though. You should watch it. If you've not
he
seen it.
gets caught and gets put in the kind of prison, the stasis prison, but then he gets out afterwards because he actually manages to solve it, doesn't he? Or does he? Is that how it ends? Does it end with him being caught? He knows how the crime is committed again.
No, that's not how it ends. No, like he does get caught, but like obviously he knows his way around there because he works there.
No, but like he gets put at one point. Tom Cruise gets put in stasis
So he's like
as
the
if he has lost.
the precog. that
She
he
gets
kinda-
back out.
Yeah, she's like on his side. Yeah,
I wasn't sure how it went down.
that's what happens, right?
I've not seen Minority
And then-
Oh, really?
Sorry.
And then he's like, and this is how that dick recreated that crime. Exact words.
You should watch it. It's really good. It's, someone once said to me like when I hadn't seen it before, they were like, "It's a total Alan Kerr movie." And yeah, they were right. I really liked it.
Sci-fi with Tom Cruise.
Mm-hmm.
You love both those
It's-
things.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Like,
Tomorrow.
it's one of those things where I hadn't really seen this concept too much before, where it's set in the future, but it's not like all these amazingly mega shiny buildings and different architecture. It's like just like you look at the city and the city looks exactly the same as it does now, but everyone's got more advanced things,
Yeah.
and that's pretty cool. Just
And
the idea that like
It's not like it doesn't look like there's been a giant leap in
Yeah.
kind of.
yeah, it's like technology is advanced, so like you've got like better cars and better guns and better phones and all that sort of stuff. But all
we're
the
all
architecture
flying
and
with
everything is all
jetpacks.
it's all
Like even like the keyboards they use and stuff, like kind of floaty holographic keyboards, like it's very kind of that is probably the way it's going to go. And like when people are like, whenever something happens with the iPhone, it's like Siri knows where you are at all times. People always go, "Oh, Minority Report." Eventually, they're going to get there, and like yeah, because it's a really smart kind of look at the future. You should watch it.
Okay.
with a fantasy twist.
Well, obviously,
It's
the
just
precogs are not
precogs.
like that's.
Psych women in a
Actual
bathtub.
Yeah.
psychic women who know when crime are going to happen.
Oh yeah.
So they
Is that Philip K. Dick? Probably.
Yes,
Yeah.
probably.
Yes, it is.
like it obviously wasn't called Minority Report because he's terrible in the his books. I don't know what it was called.
Chester and the
but,
Thought
like,
Police.
it was probably no joke. The book was probably about fucking 3 sentences long for the title.
Okay.
So he's like,
What? Yeah.
I'm trying to find the
Not,
name.
not called that. Was it not called Minority?
Oh no, yeah, loosely based
It
on a
was-
short story of the same name.
Yeah,
Was it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
well.
I know like
Total Recall
it's We'll
is
Sell Your Dreams.
Yeah.
no, it's We'll Remember It for You Wholesale.
Joanne
It's
Jones.
a terrible name.
That's, like, yeah, it's a bad title for a book, but I quite like that as a.
It was
Is
called,
that
it was
actually
called
something
the
like that?
Minority Report. So,
Well, that is worse.
mm.
And then
Blade
yeah,
Runner was-
Blade Runner was
Joanne
Joanne
Jones.
Jones with Electric Sheep.
Gee,
It's just again, it's just terrible. It's just a terrible name.
yeah. Good company mottos within that fictional world, but I'll just.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like that, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep is actually an important concept within the confines of the book.
Mm.
It's just a fucking
Yeah,
terrible name.
exactly. Like, you
That's
see
the
that on
one
the
sentence
bookshelf.
that you picked out and went, yeah, we'll use that.
Unsurprisingly, Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright are writing another movie together because why wouldn't you do that? Everyone was kind of like, oh, the end of the Canary trilogy. Oh, never again.
Never more.
Never again.
One end
They're gonna
era.
fall out and never
That's
talk
it,
to each
yeah,
other
yeah.
again. Of course they're going to run together. They're like best buds. And
I like all the kind of various reports and stuff. Just I like the reactions. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, of course,
Yeah.
duh. Like, why are you?
It's
Why are
Nick
we
Frost in
watching
this.
probably, although he's not been mentioned by name.
Simon Pegg has got really old, really in the past couple of years.
That happens. Maybe it's because
He's a parent now.
it's like you spend so much time watching Spaced and Shaun of the Dead,
Yeah.
and then like
You just see it.
that's how you see him.
Yeah, that is how I see him.
But interestingly, him and Nick Frost are going to reprise the roles of Sean and Ed to star in the Halloween special of Phineas and Ferb.
Huh. That's a weird, like, fun.
I know, right? Yeah.
Good, I guess. That'll probably be nice. The guys who write that show are fairly funny.
Yeah, I've heard that's like a pretty good show for
Kids,
kids.
yeah.
Little did I know that that's like, I think it's a lot more kind of, not how do I say adult, but like there's like they
It's
have
that kind of early
a
SpongeBob
lot of
type.
Star Wars references and like characters from like popular culture things
Yeah.
will pop up in it that a lot of kids would be like, I don't know who.
It's a bit more teeny.
Yeah, it's like clearly the creators are just like, I love Star Wars. I'm going to put Darth Vader in my kid TV show.
Yeah.
Isn't Star Wars still something that's relatively popular with kids?
Well, it'll always be as long as they keep
Is it-
making new
Because of
stuff.
Clone Wars and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the Lego Star Wars games and stuff.
I watched an adorable video this week of parents filming their kids on the I Am Your Father line to see the reaction.
All right.
Which, like, because that's something which kind of fascinates me with just talking to people. Like, oh, do you remember the first time that you
Well, see,
did see that?
the two things I knew about Star Wars were laser swords and I Am Your Father. That's the only two things that like before I watched it.
Yeah, I'm more aware of, being aware of it.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen the film. But I find it quite interesting. So, like, seeing kids, and like specifically when like a parent was in shot, and you'd see them kind of excitedly like getting ready to kind of turn around and be like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, I hope if I ever have a kid, like, I hope society doesn't ruin that for them before I get to show them
Yeah.
the
But they
Empire.
have to be like a. What age were these kids?
That, like, there was kind of a range of
Right.
them not quite getting it to
Because that'll be a hard
really
way to keep secret.
overacting. But usually, like, quite, I mean, we're talking maybe 6, 7, 8.
That seems like
yeah,
a reasonable age to
pretty-
show your child Star Wars.
Yeah,
Okay. Any younger
That's
than
about when I
6,
first saw it when I was about 8, I think.
they will not understand.
I don't even remember when I first saw it.
I don't remember.
Do you know, like, remember when they re-released them all for, like, was it the 25th anniversary? They re-released A New Hope in the cinemas.
That was 97,
Yeah, it was
so
97.
that would have been 20th
20th anniversary. Like, I remember looking at the poster for that, and at that time thinking I'd seen it, but I wasn't like amazingly into it. Like, I remember seeing the poster and going like, "What's the point in watching that?" Which is just odd, right?
Why would you think that?
Yeah, no, like, I can understand, like, there's, like, lots of, I mean, you get that kind of black and white films and stuff and just being like, oh,
When-
nah, no
It's so
thanks.
far removed.
Sorry, when did you say it was? It was
97.
97. Well, I mean, I would have been in third year at high school, and
Oh, that's like,
I didn't really get into Star Wars until about 2001, which is when I started reading all the books and stuff. So like, it's just odd to have a memory of me looking at the poster and being like,
Going, meh.
I remember like a kid in my school, I would have been primary 3 like, when I first saw it, and like a kid in my school was really into it and he was telling me all about it because the re-releases were coming out,
right,
and like I said to my dad, like, do we have Star Wars? And he like got
just
them,
a tear.
like,
Yes.
he got them off of my uncle who had like the widescreen editions of the VHS or whatever,
Oh, wow.
and like so copied them, and I made like a little label for them, and like I know Mickey Mouse label maker with a little UFO on it because oh, space Star Wars,
Good, yeah.
yeah, a little UFO. And I thought, I want to watch Return of the Jedi first because that sounds like the best one.
"Oh."
But my dad was like, no, start with the first one, you idiot.
Excuse me.
Smack me on the
I
head.
made it like me and my sister made the mistake of showing her boyfriend who'd never seen Star Wars films. We thought for some reason it might be a good idea to show him in
Numerical?
yeah,
Oh
and
no!
no! Like, I mean, fair enough. Like, not even a name, Jamie Rice. Like, he's not the sharpest tool in the shed. Love you, Jamie. Thanks for listening. But like, he was so lost. Like, you know, he was like, "What's all this? What's that?" Like, because it is. I mean, like,
Yeah.
they don't explain
They
things in the
don't
first one. Like,
explain
you
it.
totally need to watch the originals to like be able to understand what the fuck is going on.
On a Jedi, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what? I don't understand any of what this is happening in the
Like,
screen.
yeah, I mean, the Emperor just appears as a hologram with like, they don't even address him till like the third movie. Well, Revenge of the Sith, it's never like apparent that he's like the Emperor. You're just supposed to know that because you watched the first three
But
movies.
that's it, like, it is crazy to watch them 1, 2,
Yeah,
3.
that is-
I mean,
yeah.
the whole
Or any
point,
sequence you like, just
Oh.
the whole point is to
chronologically.
have the surprise of episode 5. The whole point is to have the
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back twist.
Yeah.
You shouldn't
And-
be like, at the end of that, be like, oh, well, I watched the first 3 movies, thanks.
Yeah, and like 1, 2, and 3, as terrible as they are built with this kind of irony of you knowing that
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
Anakin. Spoilers, Anakin Darth Vader.
It doesn't work. It still doesn't work.
No, it's terrible. Terrible way to watch them. Here's some good news. Resident Evil. I don't know what the name of it is. So if Resident Evil Call on the next one has been postponed.
Because she's
It's
pregnant.
because she's pregnant.
Oh.
How's that good news? That just means
Because-
that this will be in the public kind of awareness for longer.
Yeah, exactly. It just means for somebody to continue the series.
Because hasn't he now like promised that this
This
is the
is the
last
last
one?
He has said that. Yes.
No backsies in
So just
this.
fucking get it over and done with. Like, let it finally just be that hideous scar that like no one will see again.
But how do you feel that he has some progeny now? He has a spawn.
I
There's
don't
someone-
like it. I really don't like it at all.
Did the last one? Did you and I see the last one? Maybe I saw the last one with somebody, or somebody else did see the last
No,
one.
with me.
No, with me.
Because it started with the like backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I
No,
saw that, but I don't
and
think I
then-
saw it with you.
Okay, so did
Aye.
maybe did Jill come back in that one?
Jill. Well, a lot of people
Or
are in
Jill?
it.
She
Or
did
Ben
not-
or Ava?
She possibly, Jill and Chris were both on that boat, the backward sequence at the
Yeah.
start, and never in the movie again.
Okay.
But it doesn't show you them dying, it doesn't explain why they're not with her in the rest of the film.
Leon's in it terribly.
The
Yeah.
woman in red though. turns-
Eva. Eva Wong.
Eva,
Eva.
yeah.
Either one.
Well,
She
it
turns up that
follows
she's supposed
her
to be
for a
dead.
long time.
Or is it the blonde-haired
Michelle
one?
Rodriguez
Somebody's
is in
supposed
it.
to be dead.
Oh yeah, Michelle Rodriguez died in the first one. and
Okay,
she's back
she
in
gets
it.
back. Yeah. Okay.
There's a bunch of
Was
actually
there
because
clones?
It's basically
like
a
some
big
fucking-
simulation.
Right.
It's terrible.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Right. Here's the person's name, right? I don't know. It's
Word
spelled
association.
Lvering. So I don't know if it's love ring or lovering, as in like
Lovering
to like. His name's Jeremy Lovering or Lovering.
That sounds so silly.
Yeah, I know.
Lovering.
Jeremy Lovering. He was he was a writer, sorry, on an episode of Sherlock and In Fear. Did you see that movie, Paul?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which episode of Sherlock?
I can't remember. It said the name, but I didn't write it down. I can't remember. So he's set to take on this movie. It was originally going to be directed by Nicholas Winding Refn, called The Bringing. Now, if any guys ever, I'll show you a picture.
Nicholas Winding Refn is the guy that Only God Forgives.
Right. Does there ring any bells to you? This picture of this like Asian American woman in a lift in a hotel.
I can't really see.
Okay,
Is it
well
like
then.
some kind of prank thing?
No. I have the way for you then. So this is like again a viral video that we brought to my attention a few months ago.
Is it based
Oh,
on like,
fuck.
the game show or whatever?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So okay, so it's a security cam footage of an elevator in a hotel in.
And Solange and Jay-Z come in.
Round one, fight.
So the video starts with her. I think she's from Canada, I think, and she's in Florida or somewhere in the States, and she was like traveling through on her own, and she's staying in this kind of dodgy hotel. It's a bit run down, kind of in a bad area, and so the video of the elevator footage shows her. She goes into the lift, kind of squirms and twitches about for a bit, presses all the buttons, peeks out the door, jumps back in, goes out the door, looks like she's talking to someone, kind of like crouching down as if it's like someone at a lower height, and like talking to them, and goes back into the elevator and hides, and then like the doors like don't stay open the whole time, even though she's pressed all the buttons, and then like she goes back out and kind of runs away, and then the doors close, and then the elevator goes away to where it was, and then like
Who knows?
24 hours later, her body was found in the water tanks on the roof of the hotel, stripped
Yeah.
naked, like drowned to death in like one of these water tanks. And it's just this crazy bizarre thing. Like no one knows how she got there. The door is locked from the outside to get up to the roof.
Fuck off.
There's no showings of anyone like
Any foul play?
no one did it to her. Like she apparently did it to herself somehow. And like the only reason they found her was because residents of the hotel were complaining that the water tasted bad.
Oh.
Yeah, so like a few days later they went up and checked it, and there's just dead woman's body there. And then they found this footage in the elevator, and they're like, this is weird. So this is what they're making a movie based on a detective.
Oh my god!
A detective who's trying to figure out this case.
Super creepy.
You should watch. You should watch the footage on
video,
YouTube.
yeah.
It's
So
very
like,
unsettling.
I mean, like clearly though, the national thing kind of just. You know,
She's
like,
nuts.
she's just nuts and
So
shit.
like she had no history of like mental illness or anything like that. Like the last time anyone spoke to her, she seemed totally compass mentis and like with it and stuff. It's just a bizarre story. No trace of drugs or anything in her system. Just a weird one. But yeah, the movie will probably be rubbish because most based on a true story horror movies are rubbish.
And there's no real answer.
Yeah.
And the scariest thing is the fact that it's real.
Yeah. So
Well, you say that, but like, how much of it is actually how it's described there?
well, I mean, like it was like you can see news reports and stuff. Like everything I've said is what was reported to me by like not like some creepypasta or whatever. It's like actual news reports and stuff that you watch.
Creepypasta?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, creepy.
You know what creepypasta is?
You actually saying pasta?
Yeah.
Really? I thought like you maybe meant to say creepypasta and fucked up. You know, what's creepypasta?
It's a website.
You're from the internet. You should know what
I've
creepypasta
never
is.
heard of that.
It's basically just kind of like short stories that people like copy and paste.
Yeah.
So you copy and paste.
Tall Man and stuff, and
Yeah,
all these like
Slender Man.
old like sorry.
Right, so hold on, that's the caliber of the source for this. It's like things to do with Slender Man and stuff.
No, it's
I'm saying
not.
it's not.
It's
that,
not.
what, that wasn't where I found it. It was like actual like
Yeah.
Well, they're reporting live from Miami. You got it. Yeah.
But also, I mean, news places like Fox, pretty crazy stories. So
Yeah.
If it's got Fox News written on it, then
yeah.
Yeah.
It's also
it's about as credible as
creepypasta.
Was Inferior well written?
A lot, like it felt generally kind of that sort of improvised dialogue. You kind of,
Okay.
so I wouldn't put much.
The Sherlock is held pretty high regardless. I mean, I've seen one episode and it was well written, but I think that was the David. What's the guy's name?
I don't know. But
The name
Moffat?
Dr.
David. Yeah, I think it was
it's not David Moffat, is it? Not someone else. What's his name?
Richard Moffat. Ian Moffat.
There's
Yes,
Moffat,
Moffat.
and there's the old League of Gentlemen guy, who I can't think what his name is at the moment.
What the fuck
Mark
is
Gatiss is the other creative force behind it.
Is it Stephen Moffat?
Stephen
Moffat,
Moffat.
yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I've only seen one episode that was written by him.
They're really hit or miss. Like
They are
the
incredibly hit or miss.
first 3 episodes, I think are actually pretty good.
I've seen the first one. I thought that was really.
They go downhill pretty bad. Like season 3 had like alright bits in it and
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah,
Overall,
depends
it's really
what
dodgy.
episode you wrote.
Yeah.
Well, pause away, I guess.
Sorry.
Richard Attenborough also died just last night, just yesterday, at the time of recording of this.
No, 2 days ago.
Yeah, well,
Just
at the time of this
recently.
recording, it
Sorry,
would have been at the age of 90. So,
Good age, man.
yeah, you can't really fault him for that.
Right. See, this is where it gets confusing though, because the first text I received about this, it was David Attenborough at the age of 90.
No, it's Richard Attenborough. It's definitely Jurassic Park.
But is he 90? Or
Yeah,
what?
you know, yeah,
Yeah,
he wasn't.
yeah.
I think someone just got the
Must
name
have
wrong
been.
when said to you. Yeah. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention it because Jurassic Park was the inspiration of the name of this show, and
I don't really know him from anything else.
I know him from Miracle on 34th Street,
Yep.
where he plays like
Santa.
the kindliest and lovable old man.
Like, as much as like Hammond is responsible for everything that happened to Jurassic Park, he's still really lovable as that as well.
He's
He's just trying to show people dinosaurs.
yeah,
He
he's
spares
a
no
kind old
expense.
man.
That's
Yeah.
good, no sense.
Although he did spend too much time thinking of whether or not he could.
Rather, whether
Ah,
he
he
should.
Whether or not he should. That's the only thing.
And
he
the only
can
person on his side is a blood-sucking lawyer.
Yeah, he is a great part of Jurassic Park, and he was again the only thing I've ever seen him in really is Miracle on 34th Street. But I love that movie when I was a kid as well. Like that bit at the end. Have you seen Miracle on 34th Street?
I've
the,
not-
the 90s remake.
I've
Have
not
you
seen the one with him in it. I've
That's
seen the
one of my favorite
original.
Christmas movies.
Yeah, seen it. It's like extra, Santa Claus is real. It's like, oh great, this is
Like,
fantastic.
New York
It's-
believes
it's
in
so
you. The world
heartwarming,
believes
yeah.
in you.
Like, that is a good, like, Christmas aside, that's just a really good story in and of itself. Like,
Yeah.
that whole,
Believing
yeah,
in
the fact that this guy is, like, so nice and he's met with nothing but suspicion
Mhm.
because just the way that,
Society
like,
is.
grown men are seen. Yeah.
Yeah, and they cast it absolutely perfectly. If you want a nice old man,
Yeah.
he really knows where it's at. Paul, you're back. We're talking about Richard Attenborough. If you want to give your thoughts. Paul says he has nothing to say.
Has David Attenborough said anything about it?
Presumably, he's his brother.
I know, like, has he publicly said anything about it? I mean,
Not that I know
He's
of.
sat in silence
Yeah.
for the past 24 hours. No, it's obviously very, very sad when anybody
People are just
has-
dropping like flies this year, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Oscars
Memorial.
look back will
is gonna
be pretty shocked.
horrendous, you know.
Anyway, on to some news. Sorry.
Please,
Go
yeah,
back in
I
time.
can't wait.
Yeah. Matthew McConaughey has been wanted for The Stand. Reviews as well, something to say. Where do we start?
You can start
I feel like
with
I've talked too much. Let's have Paul say something.
Yeah.
Paul, tell us about The Rover.
The Rover is a new Australian film starring Guy Pearce and Robert Pattinson. I kind of have this, I don't know if we've spoken about it before, I kind of have a weird soft spot for Robert Pattinson. I'm not really sure why. I don't know if it's just because I kind of like that he so actively has disdain for Twilight.
Oh, he does. It's
Um,
fun.
And I don't know if he kind of, like, I think as well, like, the first thing he did after he'd done the Twilight, he went and worked with David Cronenberg, and it seemed to be like he was looking to work with kind of a weird direct, like, he wanted to strip away the
Yeah.
Twilight, and he wanted to kind of, oh, you know, you think I'm Edward, come and see this fucking
what did
film.
he do with Cronenberg?
It was a film,
Cosmopolis?
yeah, like
It was like
really
a spoiled
strange, yeah,
kind of New York
rich,
socialite.
yeah.
Was it good?
It's a pretty difficult watch. I liked it. I
It's
didn't love
Cronenberg, isn't it?
but kind of there was a lot of like techno jargon and stuff. He was like, it was him in a limousine all the way through the film, off to get a haircut, and it was kind of almost episodic, where it was just different conversation with the different rotating guests in his limo, and he did like this kind of very, very blank slate kind of performance of a man who's been, you know, spoiled. His soul has been corrupted by the money that he has around him. And yeah, it was good, but not great.
Was Twilight the first thing he was in?
Well, it was in Harry
Harry
Potter.
Potter,
and,
Cedric Diggory.
Yep.
He's the guy that died and everyone gave a shit about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is more recent, written and directed by a gentleman, David Meachod, who I'm not sure exactly who he is, but that it
He's a guy.
to you, yeah, exactly. And it basically like follows Guy Pearce. Like the film starts black screen. It says this story takes place 10 years after the collapse.
Oh.
Yeah, doesn't matter what the collapse is. The collapse is the collapse. Everything's turned to shit. It's kind of Mad Max, but Mad Max sort of halfway between Mad Max and The Road, sort of somewhere in between there. And Guy Pearce owns a car. He's traveling around. He stops at a bar. Some people come along who seem to be on the run. 3 guys, and they decide that they crash their car. They need a way to keep going, and so grab Guy Pearce's car, drive off. Guy Pearce wants his car back, so follows them, and then comes across Robert Pattinson, who has been left for dead, and turns out that he's related to one of the 3 men who stole his car. And so it's, well, okay, let's go and get them. And you know, filmed in the Australian outback. Unsurprisingly, it's a gorgeous film. Like really, fantastic scenery. That fit, like between that and Tracks, which was earlier this year,
Yeah.
just like a lot of people seem to be realizing, oh, Australia is like pretty fucking magnificent. Let's use that.
Then between those two.
Sorry, yeah.
Try to do what Baz Luhrmann did, like Australia.
And I enjoyed it. There's a lot of kind of sort of staring at the camera, like lots of long, quiet shots. Kind of the opening shot is Guy Pearce sitting in his car with flies like crawling over his face.
That always grosses me out.
Yeah. It's that one kind of sort of crawls into his mouth and flies away, and it's him just kind of staring blankly into, you know, off screen, and that's very much like this is what this film's going to be. It's going to be slow. It's going to be, you know, it's not.
Like sets the tone of what's
Yeah, exactly. We're not going to fill everything in for you. It's not going to be a lot of talking. It's just about this kind of desolate desperation and sad loneliness and whatever else. And like Robert Pattinson kind of plays a character who I'm not sure if he is supposed to be mentally limited. He's a very kind of chatty, slightly stupid. Like they talk about how he has been coddled for his entire life, and that's part of the reason why they leave him. It's kind of like, well, there's no point in dragging along this guy who's already holding his back. Yeah, so they're going to leave him alone. So he kind of plays this sort of man-child, and is never quite sure whether he is supposed to be handicapped or he's just, because he grew up in the collapse, he's never had like a proper structured world to kind of give him a chance, I suppose, to develop properly or fully. And so their relationship like is a thing, I suppose. A big problem for me was like very early on, Guy Pearce. Guy Pearce kind of follows the three guys who stole his car, and there's quite a tense and quite a sensible kind of where he's not like chasing them, trying to knock them off the road or whatever because he wants his car. So he kind of slowly like closes in on them.
What's he chasing them
in? He takes their car, like they've crashed their car and basically got it stuck. It's not wrecked or anything. So this is where we're hit kind of one of my kind of a lot of the script feels like first draft, and like there could have just been touches here and there to kind of refine things and make everything a wee bit smoother and kind of add a bit of depth. Whereas a lot of it feels quite surface level in a way that, like, I mean, The Road is kind of a comparison, but where I think The Road is incredible. I think The Road is a brilliant, like, kind of study of the horrors of what can happen to people, kind of that relationship between father and son, which you kind of get with Pierce and Rock Passing. And you see, he's following the car, and instead of like trying to crash him off the road, he kind of closes in. They lean out and they pull out guns, and so he backs off. And eventually they kind of realize, okay, this guy's going to leave, so they pull over, and they can have a conversation. And he says, "Look, I just want my car back," and they just say no. And there's no reason for them not to just trade because they wanted just a way out. Yeah. And all you need to do is
their car back. So
exactly. So all they need to do is add a line of dialogue where they say, "Our car's nearly out of petrol. We're not stupid," but they don't have that, and so the whole drama of the situation, like basically they just come across as kind of dicks. Exactly. And it's never justified enough that they are that kind of vindictive, I suppose.
It was like a means to an end for them taking their cars.
Yeah. And so that immediate problem kind of highlights a weakness all the way through. And Guy Pearce leans a little bit too, where there's a certain kind of performance, we kind of know what I mean, where like, there's kind of a trend of people being like, "Oh, I'm going to do some really good acting, so I'm just going to grumble really low," and then people.
Tom Hardy always.
Yeah. I'm just doing a really good acting. Everyone will give me an Oscar, and it leans just occasionally too near to that without like, and again, maybe it's a director problem where like there's a lot of staring into the camera, kind of for long, slow shots, and holding a shot means good acting. And that's not, you've got to be able to draw it out, and whether it's an experience, whether it's just somebody who doesn't have quite the skill to kind of pull that kind of thing off, I'm not sure. But there is just occasionally where kind of like, okay, like, this is just for the sake of it.
Can someone cut this, please? Like.
Robert Pattinson, I couldn't quite decide how much I liked all the way through. There's the eventual kind of confrontation between him and his brother, and he nails that kind of big emotional impact, and he has quite kind of good funny moments throughout. So I would say he kind of did a good enough job. He has actually really horrible, very slightly sort of bleached, sort of almost Eminem-y type hair, where it's just awful. Like it looks so just nasty and really gross. I like people who are I like actors with bad haircuts in films. I think that's one. One of my
makes you feel better about your own hair, or
it sounds so dumb. I feel like an actor took that for the for his part for the team.
Somebody love Javier Bardem.
Yup, absolutely.
That's almost wigs though, isn't it?
That for me though, I feel like it's so strong throughout his career that's become like it's his like I insist on having really shit hair.
It's him and Nick Cage as well.
Nick Cage loves it.
But that's just thin wig hair though, right?
No, but like in Bangkok Dangerous, he had like the worst wig of all time, and it's really, really funny.
Do you also like it then when like Natalie Portman shaved her head for V for Vendetta?
Yeah.
Because that's commitment right there. It's like,
and it's so silly because like here's one of these things that just grows back. Like it's very interchangeable, and we have wigs, so it doesn't matter what you do. Like
it's such a big part of your visual image, though. Like just
but you're an actor, so people would be like, oh, I mean, like I have that exact reaction. Oh yeah, well.
Yeah, do you ever see like pictures of like Tom Hanks or Brad Pitt showing up at award ceremonies with like massive bushy beards and stuff, and you're like, oh, they must be deep in a role right now.
Not so much with facial. Maybe I need to.
Oh, 7 Years in Tibet was Brad's time of beardless.
Castaway, he was all like grizzly looking. He was
beardy and chubby.
Need to more maybe appreciation for. I like beards generally.
Yeah.
Just like this, like might lower the tone of the show just a little bit.
Pubic hair.
No. Like just because I think I go back to like last week with Robin Williams. But like, did you see like the Nintendo adverts for him? For the Zelda stuff? That was a glorious, glorious experience.
Yeah. So it was like a mane? It was like a lion's mane.
It's like one of the...
Is that the ones with him and his daughter playing?
Yes.
So, on the whole...
the last thing I'll kind of say is that, I mean, unsurprisingly, he wants his car back. Eventually he gets the car back. Or does he get the car back? Eventually, I'll change. Eventually we find out what's in the car or why he wanted the car back.
Okay.
And, of course... Because it's a post-apocalyptic world, and if it was like a child or something, or if it was like why would it be money, whatever. Like if it was a child, you would have part of the story be, or if it was a living thing.
Yeah.
So whatever it is.
It's an inanimate object then.
Yeah, exactly. Like the whole point of the movie is not actually about what's in the car. It's about kind of the value you place on things in this post-apocalyptic world, and like the value of good and bad, and that none of it matters, and what does matter anymore. What value can you place on anything? And there are people who are definitely going to go along to this and really put a lot of pressure on that final reveal. And that's not the way to watch the movie. That's the wrong. That's the wrong focus. You're not kind of paying attention to what's really going on. The movie's not about what's
So like
in the car.
From what you've said so far, though, it doesn't sound like you actually liked the film.
I think because there was some really glaring kind of ways it could have been better. That is where I kind of get hung up, especially because I did overall like it. It's just that like to talk about the problems they are.
There's room for improvement.
Yeah.
So obvious it should have been tackled.
And for me, it's just like, exactly, me kind of saying, like, me willing it to be, I'll do better next time, guys. Come on, I know you can, and I want you to, because I want to be able to come out next time and just recommend this to everybody. And this one I can't quite do that for.
Mm-hmm. Cool. How long is it?
I think a fairly tight 90 minutes. 103 minutes.
103 minutes
of
a movie that's a lot of staring at the cameras for like extended views.
Like there's various kind of drive scenes and people being captured and
So the whole movie is just him chasing three people in a car.
Well, you kind of have. I mean, you have him get the confrontation where he says, "I want my car back. I got your car." They knock him out, then they get away. Then he meets Robert Pattinson, and then the rest of the film is those two following, but it's not like a chase. At that point, they're kind of so far. Like Rob Pattinson's like, okay, I know where they're going to be. We need to get there. Within 2 days.
Okay.
So the
journey.
journey.
How much time passes within the movie?
Maybe a couple of days.
Okay. So it's like Guy Pearce is like kind of too self-serious and like this needs to loosen up a bit, and Robert Pattinson's like the goofy guy that gets on his nerves, but like during the course of the thing they get to know each other a little and like they have some good times, like they can reminisce.
I was going to say I wouldn't go quite as far as that, but
They learn from each other. Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah. Like what was the one that was out with like Barbra Streisand and
road trip.
Was it called that?
Yeah, something.
Probably,
like that.
yeah. It sounds like it's generic.
Was it on Mother's Day?
Guilt Trip.
Yeah.
Mother's Day. No.
It was
Mother's Day though, I think. That's why he took her.
So is it like one of those kind of just like buddy road trip movies, but without the joviality?
I was about to say, it's nowhere near as fun as that, and there's not quite as much learning from each other. Like there's a lot of pity on the side of Guy Pearce, and there's quite a good moment where they eventually kind of reach before the emotional climax, and they're outside and his car's there, and he just like starts getting into his car and kind of says, "Oh, like they're inside, go and get them." Because Robert Pattinson's kind of got to the point where he's like, "I'm gonna go and shoot them because they left me for dead. How dare they?" And it just looks like for a moment that Guy Pearce is just going to be like, "Well, bye, have fun."
But even that's like that sounds like stand-up fare for the whole.
The false
the buddy road trip thing where it's like, he acts like he doesn't care, but he's care.
Oh, how can you not love John Candy?
Yeah.
Come on.
He likes himself,
so...
Right.
So there we are. I'll talk briefly about the movie What If. It's new.
What If?
Oh, sorry. What If?
I watched When Harry Met Sally in preparation for eventually seeing What If.
Wait, hold on. What If is the Daniel Radcliffe one?
Yes.
Right.
Daniel Radcliffe and Ruby Sparks, whose name I can't actually remember. The girl who's Ruby Sparks.
Zoe
something. Yeah, Zoe something. She looks like my friend's girlfriend.
Thanks.
She was Ruby Sparks?
Yes, she was Ruby Sparks, yeah.
Did you just say that? Sorry.
Yep, I just said it.
Sorry, apologies.
So, also Adam Driver from Girls and soon to be from Star Wars.
Zoe Kazan.
Yes.
Alright, see, I said Ruby Sparks. I knew her name. I thought you just...
Alright.
Like, I was not paying attention.
Jesus.
Sorry.
So, it's kind of standard rom-com fare. It's a 15 though, so there's a bit more rude jokes in it than you might expect otherwise. The basic plot is Daniel Radcliffe is living in Canada with like his sister. He's kind of recently dropped out of medical school because he had a bad breakup with a girl that he worked there with, and he's kind of like, yeah, his life's kind of like, he's kind of a loser, and he's like, oh, my whole life is full of shit because I broke up with this girl and I can't really get over it. So he goes to this party and he meets his friend's sister. His friend is Adam Driver, the sister is Ruby Sparks. And so they meet and they kind of instantly get on with each other, and he's like, oh, I don't usually talk to people at parties, I'm usually the social loner, recluse type person. She's like, me too, I didn't expect to meet anyone here, and they were getting on really great and stuff. So then he walks her home and they're getting on really great, and then she's like, yeah, I better head, my boyfriend's probably wondering where I am. He's like, a boyfriend?
And then we ask the question, as old as time, can men and women just be friends?
I'm glad you asked, Paul. You should go and watch this movie because it gives the definitive answer.
The definitive answer? Well, what?
So she gives him her number, and she's like, "Oh, you can call me something, and we should hang out as friends."
Throws it away.
It is exactly what it is. He goes and throws it away, but then by chance he bumps into her.
Oh God, really?
At the cinema, and she's like, "You're here watching this movie on your own?" It's like The Goonies or something like that. And she's like, "Oh, this is a really old movie. Can't believe we're both here. I was going to come with my boyfriend, but he didn't want to come." And he's like, "Oh well, I guess
I can be the perfect
It's almost like
boyfriend.
those two are really well suited.
Exactly.
The boyfriend character just, doesn't get it.
So then, of course, the movie is they become really good friends, and he holds this candle for her, and she doesn't know, but then she starts to have feelings for him, but then the boyfriend's there, but then the boyfriend gets a job in Ireland, so he's out of the picture for a while, and he's kind of like, oh, maybe I should move in.
So why wasn't this movie called Friend Zone?
Genuinely, that was the original title.
Really?
Which Daniel Radcliffe kind of like took whoever aside and was like, look, I'll do this, but we can't call it Friend Zone.
Good call, Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But it was okay. It was nothing you've not seen before. The adverts kind of, they say it's like, oh, the best romantic comedy since 500 Days of Summer. Like, they're not remotely the same movie. 500 Days of Summer is kind of more of a commentary on romantic comedies, and it says at the beginning it's not a love story about love. This is just like boy meets girl, will they get together?
See, like that to me on the surface of it is like the most boring premise ever. Like, I don't give a fuck about like people who need other people to complete their lives. I think it's just been so overdone, and I don't really buy into it, as everybody probably knows by now.
Yeah.
If the two of them are likeable, then that's what makes all the difference. That's what makes Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, even Zack. No, that's the wrong one.
You would say Zack and Miri make a porno.
I was, wasn't it? It's the one. Nick and Nora's Infinite
Playlist.
Similar name.
Yeah. Daniel Radcliffe and Ruby Sparks. So Kazan. They are likeable in it. There's a bit too much kind of like the director has just been like, and just kind of have cute chit chat with each other now. Yeah.
Just that banter you always have off screen. Just bring that to us.
Like there's a bit too much of that where it feels a bit too forced. But generally they are kind of believable and likeable.
Not enough Adam Driver. That continues to be a problem in everything.
I don't know. I didn't think he was all that.
Who is that? I don't recognize that name.
He's a guy. He's a guy from Girls.
It's going to be a big deal.
He was in Girls. That sentence means nothing.
He was in Inside Llewyn Davis as.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
He's also going to make Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's the villain.
Yeah, probably.
He looks like an alien.
He's a weird looking guy. He's really tall, right? And Daniel Radcliffe is very short. That's kind of an odd visual thing the whole way through the movie. But it's okay. Yeah, they're both kind of likeable. Let's get some alright jokes in it.
Which big Radcliffe's acting chops like?
I like he's not Harry Potter in it.
As a follow up, like from my Robert Pattinson, like let's just give credit to like Daniel Radcliffe, Watson, and even like Kirsten Stewart, who I mean she's the worst actor of the world, but all of them are like doing their best to just get away from
those tween
those
things.
films.
Zac Efron, especially.
He's good. He's not Harry Potter in it. He plays like I said, kind of a losery guy.
Because that's who he is in real life, wasn't it?
I like Daniel Radcliffe.
He seems like a really nice
he does.
guy.
Seems like really.
I suppose he's definitely not a loser in real life.
No,
Like,
say if he hadn't been in Harry Potter, Daniel Radcliffe would just be that little nerd that no one really talks to.
I don't think you can like separate. I mean, he has been Harry Potter now for most of his life. You can't take that away from what he is.
You know what I'm saying though. I'm not talking about like how his actual person. I mean, like.
Oh right, okay. Just
the idea of what Daniel Radcliffe's personality is like.
Okay.
He is that kid that doesn't really have many friends
He doesn't
because
talk
he
at
is.
parties.
Like, I mean, like his party trick is that he can sing the periodic table song.
Is it?
Yeah.
That sounds something he's gone with.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. He's the kid that no one wants to hang out with.
Yeah, it's nothing you haven't seen before, but it's a good version of what you have seen before.
Is it this generation's Uncanny Met Sally?
No, it's not this generation's anything.
What is this generation's Uncanny Met Sally?
Probably
Plus the
500
days, yeah.
But yeah, it's fine. It's alright. The perfect date movie is what the show also says.
I can't wait for that romantic date movie set about, is it, I get this wrong, Tinder? Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just like, oh my god, like, we both say we want to fuck each other, how romantic is that?
Oh, swipe
Let's
left.
bang.
Swipe left.
That's the name of the movie? Swipe
Swipe
left.
left.
Yeah.
And then just the sub-caption, let's bang.
Oh wait, is this like a real movie?
No.
Oh right, no, right. Oh, really? Sorry. Oh god.
So I just say about how romance is dead, Paul. Romance is dead.
But that, like, I mean, it's one step away from Friends with Benefits. And
Was.
this movie that we're hanging
Oh,
up is
oh,
actually,
yeah.
it is. Like,
No, yeah.
No,
Like,
Friends with Benefits was different. Friends with Benefits was that. Are you talking about the Justin Timberlake film with?
I mean, that
Yes.
or No Strings Attached, either one.
Yeah.
Pick.
Friends with Benefits was better than those things.
Yes, like Friends with
No,
Benefits
but
was
just
actually
the
like a
plot,
decent
just-
thing.
Oh yeah, the plot's there. Yeah.
But the movie, for the most part, was them trying to be friends without benefits. Like,
Oh yeah, so I mean, it's meaningless sex. So we're just taking it the next step to it's strangers having meaningless sex and letting the feelings grow from that. We're like, oh, like we usually do it in a hotel, but now I've got to come to your flat. I'm so gagging for it. Oh, you have like really cool CDs. I'm in love with you now. Like,
I like
Man.
Metallica too.
What
you
year
say
you're
that?
in?
Say that. That's my favorite album.
You have really cool CDs, Grandad. Where's your iPod? What the music on there?
Yeah, yeah.
You've liked really nice things on Spotify.
Yeah,
We don't even actually have downloadable songs anymore.
Yeah, like that.
Ownership is so 20th century.
That's really strange. Like, if you were to go to like a date's house, how are you going to
What
find
do you
out what
have,
they read
yeah.
because you get a Kindle? How are you going to find out what to listen to because you?
Unless they hand you their phone,
Yeah.
which I don't know about you guys.
No,
I don't like the idea of anybody touching my phone. Not even Tommy.
What's on his phone?
Fucking my things. That phone is an extension of me.
Yeah.
It's my
I'm going
Cortana.
down that, yeah.
Do you know,
Nothing.
like, not to go on about it, but like Amy asked, like,
Alright, fucking hell.
Fucking
she was
hell.
like,
Spot the guy who's got a girlfriend.
Yeah.
like, should I say, like, can I look through your iPod, like, to see like what music?
As
you
a
have?
test,
That's
yeah,
fine.
tester.
That's fine.
Is that alright? Is
As
that
long,
backwards?
as long as it's monitored.
I don't have anything weird on my iPod or my phone.
But that's like it's 2 button presses away from the whole phone.
I think backwards is
Text
dark
messages.
on his phone.
Text messages, phone
Yeah.
logs,
Hey, I have asked Siri
Fucking-
some questions that nobody should know about.
browser history. Yeah, like this random shit I put in Google, man.
Alright.
Does a Google employee can have access to that?
So
Oh, definitely, the government has.
I,
We'll talk
I
about
don't
that.
care about strangers seeing all this stuff I've fucking looked up. It's people I know.
Okay. So, should we do Sin City next or Lucy next?
Leave Sin City.
I was going to say, since I feel like it's the biggest film.
Okay. Well, I watched Lucy, which is the new Scarlett Johansson, Morgan Freeman
Luc
movie,
Besson.
directed and written by Luc Besson. The premise is the premise is Lucy plays. Sorry, Scarlett Johansson plays Lucy, who is a girl who is kind of forcibly given this new synthetic experimental drug, which gradually over the course of the movie unlocks her brain to full 100%.
It's not intentional though, is it? Like she's
No,
She's a drug mule and
She's
it
a
works
drug
on
mule.
her mind.
Yeah,
That's exactly
bursts
what
in her
happens.
ovaries and gives her special powers.
Yeah, and eventually learns magic because
Because that's what ovaries
because of
don't
this
do.
drug.
Give you superpowers.
So the movie's really terrible. Like really terrible. Like it's so barely even a movie. Like I don't know where to begin talking about what's so bad about it. Like there aren't really any characters. Like there's Morgan Freeman and there's Lucy,
And then Asia.
and then there's a Chinese guy.
And French police guy.
Yeah, he is there, I guess.
His accent is there.
Yeah. So like the kind of the thing you're working towards is that Lucy has, I think, 2 days before she works out that if she gets 100%, her body's not going to be able to handle it and she's probably going to die. So she has until this time that she has to get to Morgan Freeman, who is living in France, and
To pass on the knowledge.
basically pass on her knowledge to him somehow, because
Dropbox.
So, yeah. So like the movie starts out where she is like in China, I think, and she's partying. She's just like a regular girl out partying with some guy she just met, and he's like,
awesome.
I've got this kind of weird job where I have to go into this hotel and hand over this briefcase, and then they'll give me £1,000, and then I'll leave and never get seen again. But I can't do it this time. I need you to do it. And she's like, no, I'm not doing that. That sounds really dodgy. But then he handcuffs the briefcase to her and then runs away. And he's like, no, you've got to see what peace out. And
Like basically like
Okay,
Sarah
bye.
getting put on the ring tape in the room.
so she goes in, and then there's some really bad stuff happening.
She does
in
just
there.
go in the room, like she does choose.
Well, it's
like,
handcuffs to her.
but
Like,
why not just fucking run yourself?
Yeah.
because she doesn't know what's in there.
It's not a bomb.
It might be a
But,
bomb.
like, here's an idea.
Probably
Why don't
isn't.
you get like a
Run.
saw to cut the thing
Or
off?
run to the nearest
Police
police
station
officer
and get them
and
to.
be like, some fucking nutcase just chained this to me. Get the fuck off. It might be a bomb.
Some nutcase chained this briefcase to me.
It's a basket case.
Because he's going to split the money
So
with
get
her.
off
She's going to get
my
she's going to get 500 quid out of this.
But he
500
ran
quid.
away.
He ran away.
But he ran to the other side of the street. He's still there watching her. He's being like, go in.
Such a
Oh,
little
okay.
amount of money for 500 quid.
I know, but like, so she goes in and then like gets taken upstairs and gets forced to open it. And turns out it's this new drug that it's like C650 whatever. What it is, it's a synthesized version of. Again, this is what the movie says.
Okay.
Synthesized version of the drug that pregnant mothers give to their kids in the womb that help them to like grow their bones and become human. So it's intense.
Super
Growth
calcium.
hormones?
Yeah,
then?
basically like very, very strong, like not even growth hormones, like not evolutionary, but like
Is it signals
What's
to make
the-
them grow?
what's the word I'm looking for here?
I know, I'm looking at the
Development.
notes.
Development, yes, developmental hormones is what she gets in. So they cut her open and put it inside of her, and then someone kicks her in the stomach and it bursts, and it bursts into her bloodstream, and then
Like all on purpose to.
no.
Like,
It's
the
some guy, some
the guy's
guy.
just a fucking idiot. Like, you've packed someone's stomach full of drugs, then proceed to kick them in your stomach.
Yeah.
So it bursts, and then so then from that point on, the movie starts being like 20%, and then every so often it'll flash on the screen being like 30%, and seeing like
Like
her new powers develop.
the full screen took over.
Yep.
With the, I like good. Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
this not in the corner.
I love how it's so quantifiable, just like I Frankenstein with
yeah.
possession.
And it cuts between this at the beginning of her being kidnapped and stuff, with Morgan Freeman giving a lecture on the human brain, and you know,
Just coincidentally at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
and so it's like, oh, if we had the power of the dolphins, we could probably do this and stuff, you know.
The power of the dolphins! I want the power of the
Well,
dolphins!
he's saying like dolphins use 20% of their brains. That's how they have like sonar and stuff, and they use their brains better than we do. And he's like, 30% we could probably control other
See,
people,
like-
we could fly and stuff and all that cool shit.
See, right off the bat, before anything else happens, though, right?
Huh?
Everybody's heard that fucking absolutely false statistic of the 10%
Yeah.
of the thing, right? Which is fair enough. If someone hears it, like, oh man, it'd be a really cool movie if we made a movie about how unlocking more of the brain's potential.
Uh-huh.
But surely that person, when they go to research, that would you realise
Well,
it's a
see,
lie?
that's a
The whole movie is
step
based
that has
on a
been
lie.
missed here. Like a lot of it
Any
is like,
science research has been missed.
a lot of it is just like look based on probably being like no one's gonna look into this.
And if
Yeah,
you
I'll just say some big words and no one's gonna think too much about it and it'll be alright. And there's a lot of big words that are just like thrown around and doesn't make any sense. But like at the very beginning, it's showing you Lucy being like kidnapped and being like when she's in the foyer of the hotel, there's other like bodyguards that looking at her and being like, oh, is that another briefcase at her? And it cuts between footage of a gazelle being poached by lions, and it's like very heavy-handed, like
Well, we
on the
finally
nose,
have
like
the drip-fed
yeah,
backstory
it's like,
narration.
yeah.
But like, is it not also like I've seen a review of this online already. They only do that sort of thing at the start of the film
Yeah,
as well.
that
They
one has
drop
to be
it.
Yeah.
So like, if it was consistent, you'd be like, oh, that's
It's a
interesting.
stylistic choice.
But yeah.
Like,
But the fact it's like the first fucking scene and then never again.
I mean, the first 20 minutes is okay, I suppose, before she actually gets to superpowers.
Mm-hmm.
But that is just really heavy-handed of being like, oh, humans haven't evolved. We're still just hunters and gatherers, and this is the same thing. She's basically a gazelle being hunted by these lions, and then I suppose when she has her evolution, it doesn't do any of that stuff anymore. But then, so yeah, the movie is her trying to get back, and as she unlocks more powers, she can like fly and like stop people in time and like move people around and like control radio, control like microwaves and stuff, and like make yourself appear on television. It's like anything you can think of. It's like, oh yeah, the brain can do that. Like literally anything they can just get away with. Like because the brain. Like she touches someone's head and like accesses their memories because she's going through their electromagnetic, like all that.
Does she like filofax through them? Like
almost like there is a point where she's like sitting with two laptops, like one hand on each laptop, and she uses laptop screens, and it's like.
That's not really works.
It's not. Like computers don't work that way.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a lot of bad
I think the
sides.
premise is that like she has to make herself dumber before reaching 100% or she'll explode. Then why doesn't she just read Dan Brown books?
Oh, she's not trying to make herself dumber. She's trying to just get somewhere where she can pass on her knowledge. Cause like
Why can't she use a phone?
because she has.
Why doesn't she just?
When I say pass on her knowledge, you have no idea what that
Does she
actually
mean
means.
like actually physically?
I don't really want to tell you what it means because it's the whole point. The whole
We're
point of
talking
the movie.
transcendence style.
Transcendence, Citizen Kane compared to this.
No, like I just mean literally like to upload.
Yes,
everything.
exactly.
Like,
To upload.
does
stuff,
it-
yeah.
By any chance, just thinking of like other science fiction style stories that are similar to this, does it end with her becoming like a being of pure energy kind of thing? Like she transcends human
Form.
physicality and just becomes like a being of light.
As a follow-up to that question before you ask it, like, yeah, okay, this is her journey of lots of bad science. Let's forgive that because the arc of her losing her humanity is so strong.
Oh, you used the word arc. Nothing of that kind.
Okay,
of
no, not in
Just a
there.
snap.
There was no characterization to her because like the minute she becomes like super sentient and stuff, like she loses any like humanity and emotion and stuff. Like so she's just like
So there's no, yeah,
So
there's
she's
no.
Spock.
so there's no emotion there. Morgan Freeman is just there to be like, this is interesting.
There.
Listen to my sultry voice. The penguins.
There's like a French guy who comes into it like towards the end.
The
I
cop,
don't know,
is it
so they can drive the car with her.
Ah, yeah,
Like-
yeah.
There's just
She's too busy like doing shit.
there's no characters. Like
So-
the whole thing is just like, oh, because someone could use all their brain power. But even then, right, this is like totally just picking up the paycheck. Like there's parts where it's like, oh, like she's at the end of a corridor and there's like a bunch of guards with guns and stuff, and it's like here'll be the Black Widow style fight where she like kicks a load of ass and stuff, but no,
She's
has,
God.
like, she has superpowers, so
It's the
she
Matrix
can just
version.
make them float away and she can just walk. She doesn't have to do anything. She has to look
yeah.
dead faced and just walk places.
Which is kind of a because, yeah, to make somebody super powerful, you need to have something going underneath that to make
It takes away any sort
any
of.
sort of threat, any sort of dread, any sort of tension.
So
So
you
the,
couldn't do it with Neo or Superman.
So yeah,
So,
yeah, exactly.
The whole way
It's
through-
going to be the one.
all I was thinking of is what's going to happen when it gets to 100%. Not because I was interested in being like, oh,
But yeah,
just
just
like
like
happen. Just like how dumb are they going to make
bad
it?
can this
How
get?
stupid are they going to go?
if this is going to go crazy, that might like if we go really wild, might redeem something, might like earn it a half star.
It goes pretty stupid, but not in terms of like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. Just in terms of like the way it's represented on screen. It's like, oh, this is so stupid. It's so dumb. Like you're actually.
Is that a smoke monster?
No, that would be high art.
Alright,
like-
okay.
And then yeah, like I mean, Paco wasn't far off with what he thinks the ending is, and
Yeah.
it's just.
Does it
I don't
turn
know
out
anyone
she's
who-
Samantha?
What, Samantha?
Her.
All right. Oh shit! You know what? Like that's a good parallel, really,
Hmm.
to like.
There was like quite a good on Kermode, whoever covered that just now, like was talking about her like sci-fi trilogy of this Under the Skin, and her is like all being released this year and all being sci-fi, and all kind of dealing with humanity and alien life and sort of dealing with that.
No,
was
this movie doesn't have any themes.
But I mean, well,
Honestly, it is just what would happen if someone could do this.
well then, I mean, irrespective of whether it deals with them or not, that like it is about that. Yeah, even if it doesn't realise it's about that.
Yeah. I can't stress enough how much there is no
Nothing.
thought into any aspect of this movie whatsoever.
But like, it does look pretty.
No, there's a car chase that's like you can tell there's a lot of CG used in it.
Like the bit when she's sitting in the car and like she looks out the window and like, there's like for some reason big data streams come from people's heads. No, it looks like it's had money spent.
Alright, but there's a bit. there's so many leaps of logic and imagination. Like you have to be like, okay, I guess you could do that if you had 30% brain power. You could probably.
What's the deal with Morgan Freeman? Like,
Again, he's just there to pick and paycheck.
But like, that's the thing. Like, does he need it? Like, he does good films. Like, everybody kind of recognises Morgan Freeman being a good actor. And he does shit like Wanted.
I would imagine it's just that point where, like, I mean, number one, keeps bringing the money in. Number two, like, it'll be like working with certain people, going to certain places. Just like it seems like a nice idea, like working with Scarlett Johansson, working with Luke Besson.
I get to go to France.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just that's.
I need a holiday. I've got a terrible one.
I need a holiday. Oh, matron.
It doesn't say that now.
So this is really bad. The only thing I'll say about it is it wasn't that long. Like there we go. The point where I was kind of like, I kind of hope it wraps up soon. It was very evident that it was going to wrap up soon. And I suppose the first 15 minutes are alright before she gets superpowers. They're alright.
That's why the movie.
Yeah.
I like the kind of like the countdown, like percent, like whether it's percentage or days or whatever, or time bomb. I do like that kind of being like, okay, we're probably out.
It's
2 minutes
second
before we
percent.
do that. Yeah.
That's exactly what it was like. But it's not as bad as I frankly.
That's
Still
the bar. It's still the bar.
It's still the fucking lower rung.
So
Speaking of movie ladder.
Speaking of the lower rung, I'm sure we'll talk about it more next week when it's more than just Laura that saw it.
I'm excited to hear that.
Laura, tell us what you thought of Sin City: A Dame to Kill For. Sin City 2, A Dame to Kill For.
Was it to die for?
I wanted to kill myself.
Oh.
And that is a bit touchy at times like this, but it's bad. It's very bad.
Like how bad? Like
Not as bad as I Frankenstein
Batman
bad.
bad? Or
Batman and the Vix bad. Where was that? Is that standard now?
no, just say like a fat guy in a dress. That's pretty bad.
I thought you said Vix.
I said dress.
Okay, dress.
Because look, fat guys
That's
in
worse
dress
than the
is like
Vix though.
standard issue in some places, is it?
It's still not good though.
Not great. Can someone fact check when Sin City, the original one, came out for?
I believe it was 2003.
Yeah, it was like 9. It was 9 years.
Right. That is the first problem with this movie. It took them
2005, sorry.
Yeah.
So how many years did it take them?
9
9 years.
9 years to release a sequel. First problem.
Hmm.
Does the world care about Sin City anymore? No. First problem. So it doesn't tell you how long it's been since the first Sin City, but it's been a length of time.
Isn't it part prequel?
I don't know.
The first Sin City wasn't like a chronological thing either. It
Yeah,
was
just
all
Well, I mean,
like a-
the
mixed
part,
stories all
the parts
fucking
with
around.
Dwight happened before the first movie because it's before he gets his new face.
Like
So you have the
that,
parts with Dwight, but then the parts with Nancy
No,
obviously
but
happen after the
but
first
he gets
movie.
a new face again in this movie.
which
Is
is
it the face of Clive Owen?
It tries to be, but it's not.
well, that in itself I find quite odd though, because Clive Owen looks so much younger than Josh Brolin.
Right.
I don't know.
I honestly can't really remember much about the first Sin City. It's been a long time since I've watched it. I've only really watched it a couple of times. But I know that I have had fun and enjoyed it. I periodically know for coming at this film I was bored and didn't have a good time. The only time I did have a good time was sitting next to Casper, ripping it to bits. So basically it's 3 stories. You have Johnny, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who we all love here.
Big man, Joe Golev.
So Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and then you've got the second story, which is Dwight, played by Josh Brolin rather than Clive Owen. And Eva Green is the Dame to Kill For in that. And then the last story is Nancy, Jessica Alba, Bruce Willis, and the main kind of, and Marv is in that. Marv is kind of the character that's in all of the stories. He's kind of the linchpin.
That's
of
kind of the
this.
same in the first movie as well.
He's the linchpin of this movie as a character, and the linchpin of the setting is Nancy's bar, where she's a stripper.
Again, kind of the first.
Kind of
Same as first
same
one, yeah.
character.
Yeah.
So the movie starts with Joseph Gordon-Levitt being like, I'm a cool dude and I'm going to win it. He's a gambler. He's Lady Luck is on his side at every turn. He is a fantastic gambler. He rolls up to Nancy's strip club, impresses a fine little bit of ass there, and decides to go into the back room where there's an illegal poker game with the senator that killed Rourke, Senator
family.
Rourke. Yep, the
Right.
Rourke family. He was the senator of that he was the father of that yellow bastard who Bruce
right.
Willis killed.
Is it Powers Booth? Is he in this?
Yes.
It is perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember all that so far.
So
Powers Booth is an evil looking man in real
he
life.
is. He is. He's very imposing and very aggressive
Yeah,
looking. Powers Bootman, motherfucker, man. So he joins the game and he gets stopped at the door by the chief of police going, don't beat this guy too much, he does not like to get beat. Joseph's like,
Wookiees
hell
rip
no.
your arm off when they lose.
Exactly, so Joseph wins, the senator is not happy, sends his goons to get him, goons go get him, break his fingers in the back of the car with pliers, it's nasty, his hands all like fucked. And then shoots him in the leg and reminds him that he should not come back and he is the low scum of the earth. Then that finishes and cuts to fucking Dwight being all like, I'm Dwight and I shouldn't let the monster out because when I let the monster out last time lots of people die, and you're like, alright, cool. And he's driving being all moody and it looks like Sin City 2 looks beautiful. It's exactly the same as the standard as the first one. It's stunning to look at. It's heavily stylized, black and white, with things being in colour, people being in colour. It's beautiful. That's the one thing I will say about it. It's beautiful. And it's just kind of his relationship with Eva Green, who's the femme fatale, deigned to kill for. And he has to save her because she says her husband's been abusive, and it goes on from there. Eva Green is horrible in this movie. She is bad. And the reason that she is bad because the screenplay is utter gash. It is so poorly written. The dialogue is laughable. Like she's talking about how her husband like beats her, and then she's got this bodyguard who's like 6'4" black man who is not human and he can beat you up, and it's just so. She's just a stereotype.
Is that the dude with the golden eye?
Yes, he's the dude with the golden eye, and
who's also in the first one.
Yeah,
who's
played
also
by a different actor because he's dead now.
Was it?
it was thingy.
This time it's Dennis Haysbert, aka President.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
The press.
Man, awesome.
President was
So it kind of, and then the story. Eva Green is always naked in this movie. She's always either in lingerie or naked, which is perfectly fine. Eva Green in most of her movies is naked at some point, so that's fine. And he tries to save her, but then it turns out that she just really wanted him there so her husband could get killed, so she could get the insurance money because she's a black widow and that's what she does. And that kind of goes around and round in circles, and Dwight has to go to downtown where the hookers are, where Dyer Dawson is, to get patched up and get his new face, even though he's already had a new face. And
no, that must happen before.
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be.
Yeah, like yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
You only
not-
get to see face once.
it's just
Yeah.
really, really fucking stupid. And then
Is that not portrayed? Is it not made clear at all? Like when
No.
things happen?
no, there's no time frame in anything at all. And there's one scene that kind of shows up how bad Eva Green's character is. One scene where Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character turns up at a diner. Lady Gaga is in this movie.
Actual Lady Gaga?
Actual Lady Gaga is in this movie. She plays a diner waitress.
That's just a diner.
Just a diner. And
It's a hell of a
her
costume.
interaction with Joseph Gordon-Levitt is more believable, that 1 minute scene, than Eva Green's entire performance. It's just, the dialogue's so hokey and stilted, and it's like, Mark Miller?
Mark Miller, yeah.
Mark Miller is so far up his own fucking, Frank Miller, sorry, Frank Miller.
Oh, sorry.
Not Mark Miller, because Mark Miller's a completely different fucking ballgame. Frank Miller is so far up his own fucking arse. He wrote this fucking piece of shit.
He's insane.
He is insane. He is full
Like,
insane.
Yes, no, like
No, he is.
actually insane.
He is insane. He believes his own bullshit so much that he thinks that this is cool and noir and slick, and it's just not. It's just hokey crap. And the whole point, and you'd think that the action would save you. No, because it's stilted and boring and so slow. Like Robert Rodriguez knows how to film action. He knows, like, Elmer actually. Like Dusk Till Dawn, there's really cool shootouts and stuff like that, and you've got this heavily stylized aesthetic you're going for, which in the first one it totally played into the action. This is just like, oh, we're going to have a ninja chick and she's got like samurai sword, I'm going to cut off some hands.
Is it Dan Aoki again?
No.
What do you mean? A lot of this stuff is like the same as the first
Yeah.
movie. Like there's an
Like, I think,
like, there was more.
The thing is though, like,
No, but it felt.
like there's a really fine line
Yeah,
between
exactly.
doing all that stuff and it coming out just right.
Just right,
where, like,
yeah.
all the fucking just shitty stuff just mixes together in a way that's palatable, and like
This,
trading on the other side of that, where
Yeah.
it's like it's just a bit too
it
boring.
just, it just kind of, personally, it just tipped that balance, that fine balance which the first one had, I will say I've not seen it in a long time, so I'm going to go back tonight and watch it again and see if I feel the same.
So this one is like, well, the first one was
Mhm.
credited as Frank Miller directing and Rodriguez produced.
It's both of them directing this.
Is that what it says in the thing?
I think it was the same with the first one. It was they both directed and produced it.
Is that
And wrote
that's why he left the Directors Guild or something like that? Because they went.
I don't think he's ever part of that. He's always been kind of like
He's on his
a
own.
renegade.
No, I thought like was it not like he left it because he wanted Frank Miller to be like, a directorial kind of thing on
Like
the.
a co-director type thing.
He
Yeah,
weren't going to allow it.
that sounds like something Robert Rodriguez would do.
So like, this time around, does it
They're
just say
both-
Frank Miller alone?
Frank
you know?
Miller and Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Right.
Frank Miller wrote the entire thing. It's just really hokey and really just not interesting. Like, you got Jessica Alba back again. She's not a good actress. She's really not.
Yeah.
She's
She's not.
like, even as a stripper, she's not very good. Like,
Criticizing her stripping
well,
skills.
she's hot. Like, Jessica Alba's she's a beautiful woman, and she can do
Nothing.
strip dancing adequately.
She is a terrible actress though.
She's an awful actress, and you have to. There's a scene in it where I'm not sure if Bruce Willis is a ghost
Well, yeah.
or
I think-
is
yeah.
he a figment of a projection
Or
of Jessica Alba.
Yeah.
Like, she's projecting him because she's upset that he killed himself and left her. But he's talking to her, but she's not hearing him. But then she's like, he's acknowledging what she said. So like, is he a ghost? I don't understand. I don't know what's going on. It's just really, really not well thought out. They try and make Joseph Gordon-Levitt super cool, and I'm like, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's already cool to start with. They're trying so hard to make him cool, and I think that's what the problem with this movie is they're trying far too hard to make it cool.
It's like too
Yeah.
kind of self-indulgent.
It's so self-indulgent and not in the Expendables 1 sort of way where they get the joke. It's played so straight that it doesn't work because they're saying, oh, look at us, we're so cool, look at us, and they're black and white. And
They've gone from sort of reinventing the cinema to like being the dads. At the
Yeah,
This all
exactly.
sounds like it's a consequence of waiting 9 years to
yeah,
do a
they've
sequel.
waited. That's the main problem. Is they've waited far too long.
It's Josh Hartnett in it again.
No,
He was really good in the first
he was
one.
really good. Like
So was Brittany Murphy. Sorry.
every
Is she in
scene,
this one?
She-
I know.
like every scene that Eva Green's not in, Casper and I were just sort of right. So the next scene she's naked again. Yeah, she was naked again.
Take a shot
Like,
for her.
There's scenes where there's a scene in it where the bodyguard, her bodyguard, refers to her as a goddess all the time, and then obviously there's a shot in the movie where she's in like a jacuzzi pool, like naked and writhing about, and you're just like, all right, so you're trying to show her as this ethereal, magnificent Venus creature, and Eva Green's gorgeous, and she's got the eyes and the kind of, she has a femme fatale in her own
Sound
right.
like my woman with eyes.
She's a femme fatale anyway, but they're just trying so hard to make her even more of a femme fatale, and you're just like, just leave it be, just let it be. And I
It's
feel,
like they just don't understand the idea of subtlety.
yeah, there is no subtlety, and I know it's really ironic from like the first movie where there's just,
Yeah.
it's like, there's a difference between having your characters be subtle and then the contrast between the ultra-violence, that would work, but there's nothing, there's no impact, and there's no, there isn't really a consequence to anything in this movie.
See, I read all of the Sin City novels, like, I don't even know how many years ago it was. Like, I should probably preface this with saying that I don't actually really like comic books or graphic novels. I just can't get into them for whatever reason. But some of the artwork in the Sin City ones were really good, but the stories are always so flat. Like, every leading character he does is the same thing. It's like some hard-ass guy who can take 1,000,000 bullets and live. Like, that's
basically
all
it.
his characters. And like all his women are those stereotypical kind of either damsels in distress or femme fatales. That's
They're
all
either
you get.
virgins or horse.
Yeah, that's all you get.
And
Frank Miller
I
stuff.
don't know if the dialogue is the same in the comics as in the movie, but it seems like the first movie, they had an editor there being like, hold on a minute, we need to kind of, I understand what you're going for, but we need to kind of rein it in a bit more.
Streamline this shit.
Streamline it, yeah, and there's so much, it's so heavy on the car shot, like there's a shot of like people in cars and the over narration, the grisly narration, like I'm really tortured and there's like so much of that, and you're just like, just show what the fuck he's
I
saying.
think-
Just show him.
If you go back and watch Sin City 1, I think you're going to be disappointed. Because it sounds like it's a lot of the same.
Yeah, like the only part in Sin City 1 that when I watched it again recently, and I was like, maybe this isn't as good as remember it, is at the very beginning when Michael Madsen
Yeah.
is talking to Hartigan. Michael Madsen is terrible at delivering that kind of dialogue. Like,
You know, 4-year-old cup with a bum ticker.
yeah, but then like Bruce Willis is really good at doing that stuff, and then Clive Owen's really good at doing that stuff. So maybe it's just like maybe the people don't get it. They don't get the way there's like a good way to deliver it. Because Michael Madsen is really bad at that, and I was like, oh, I don't remember this being so bad.
Michael Madsen's quite a bad actor in general.
Yeah, like the way Pat goes out there, oh, I'm taking it. Like that's exactly how it is. Just like as if he's read it off the page. And the rest of it was really good. Like Clive Owen, like that, was like, I'm Nancy's new boyfriend, and I'm out of my mind. Not Nancy, whatever her name is.
Was that what Dawson's? Gail.
It's when you start looking at it.
Was it Brittany
Yeah.
Murphy? Oh, I can't remember Brittany Murphy's character.
Yeah, but that's like a really good line.
Okay, but it also goes like over the top cheesy as well. Though, where like the bit where they're in Old Town. This is in Sin City 1. They're in Old Town, and like he slaps Rosario Dawson, and she goes, "Oh damn, I forgot how quick you are." And like he just like grabs her and kisses her, then turns around and says, "I want a decent car with a big boot and a fast engine."
Yeah.
And like the delivery of the line is just so bad, but like it's obviously how it was supposed to be done.
Yeah,
It's
like a lot. Yeah, so much of it is just kind of like just a very kind of self-aware, like we are being overly noir and stuff.
yeah.
And I guess that could miss if it's not done right.
Yeah,
But like
it's certainly
they
like
get it right. They do
And
get
the
it
first
right.
one they totally
Yeah,
get it right.
I think they've tried to do the same thing, but lightning can't strike twice.
Right.
So it's not the right balance, and it's really, really. I was just like sighing and just swearing at the screen just because it was so annoying. It's really annoying, and just it looks like the costumes are cool, everything about it visually is great, but it's just lackluster.
Oh well, I'm still gonna go see it. I'll see it and then.
I want to see it. I do not want to pay money to see it.
You're in luck then, my friend. Yeah, we can get it.
It's just a disappointment.
I also kind of want to watch What If. Like, I don't know why.
It's I wouldn't go your way. It's fine. It's not amazing or anything. It's just it's fine. So next week, Let's Be Cops is out.
That seems like
bad thing.
I think-
really?
I think
I thought
it was
I
it was
think
alright.
it looks fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Like, I
think
like
it
that
looks
guy from New Girl. I like him.
Who?
I like heard really.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it looks pretty shit.
As Above, So Below.
oh
is out.
fuck that man, that French.
Yeah, new found footage French.
Like
film.
they're trying to make
French.
they're trying to make the catacombs under Paris scarier than it already is. It's like
What is it? I don't even know this.
underneath in certain parts of Paris.
Is this a documentary?
No, it's a horror movie.
Right.
So it's based on actual catacombs in Paris where quite a lot of the plague victims' skeletons are kept.
God.
Like they decorate the catacombs, which is creepy as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
But basically there's the premise of the movie is it's basically like Descent by
Right.
Paris. So there's a secret chamber that this person has found, and like I'm pretty sure it's like they found a record of it and they're going to go and find it. So they take their friends down into the catacombs to go and find the secret chamber, and they must either find the secret chamber and unleash a ghost, or there's a ghost or something supernatural in there that messes with them because like a car appears in the catacombs in the trailer.
Or it's that tourist shore around her who
Yeah.
the
It's either
airport.
it's like cross
I don't want to go down there.
It's
Have
like
you seen it, Descent?
yes,
Like, did you like it?
I liked certain aspects of it. I like the British cut more than I like the American cut.
Have you seen Descent?
If I have, it's not been for like not that I totally remember.
That movie starts off so fucking scary and good,
Yeah.
then becomes Rambo Underground.
Yep.
Like, what is that? Like, have you seen it?
Yeah.
Did you find it like a good horror?
I remember liking it really again, getting a bit bored and thinking the ending was just like, oh god, I would have a shower right now and like
Oh,
all the other ones.
But like, why would you like make a horror movie where the threat is so underpowered?
Yeah.
Like this one untrained woman slaughters so many of them. Like one of them in a fist fight. Like,
She's pretty badass.
Yeah.
like yeah, it's like
Well, I always think it to be the greater threat is that she's in tiny little caves.
the confinement is the threat.
Yeah.
I do like how, well, spoilers for you. Like, I like how.
No, because it's a really good ending. I wouldn't spoil it.
Well, I was gonna. It was a bit earlier on about like how she ends up killing one of her mates by accident.
Yeah.
Pickaxe through the neck.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
And If I Stay is also that weird movie with Chloe Moretz where she's like she's like a ghost halfway through it. And she's like, remember like the trailer at one point?
It's all
Yeah.
ghosts and horrible things. I think Halloween was coming up since then.
Yeah, she's got like everyone's got stuff going on in their lives, and then suddenly there's a car accident. She's a ghost, and then the nurse says, "Whether you stay or go, it's all up to you."
And she's like watching her life play out.
works. Yeah, it's a wonderful life.
Should I stay and be a human or should I go off to?
Oh, what's my family's life like?
Yeah.
Like if she stays, there will be trouble. If she
Yeah.
goes, there will be double.
Well, actually, yeah, that's the risk she runs. So all of that next week, we went through this whole show without acknowledging that Tommy isn't here.
Oh,
Wait, what?
he did as well.
Tommy's
Tommy's not here. He's in the Highlands.
Tommy's in the Highlands. I don't know how that slipped their minds.
See, like a.
I think it was just obvious that Tommy wasn't here.
Like Tommy did his ice bucket challenge thing as well.
He did.
It's like a. Like is the word almost like unconsciously, but it's not that. Subconsciously, I actually said out loud, "Go on, you fucking champ." When he took the first bucket, like it just was like right straight on to the next one, no fuss. You know, it wasn't like a it's just the next bucket, like I'm getting this over and done with.
Tommy's a practical guy.
Yeah, you'll get it done.
So he'll be back next week. Sorely missed this week.
Love you, Tommy.
When we'll have reviews of some of those movies.
Maybe none of them. Maybe none of them.
Potentially none of them.
See, he could have seen the state of the flat before our friend Casper told us he was coming out of the flat today. Man, he would have fucking been going crazy. There was like pizza boxes and bottles of juice and my underwear everywhere.
What did you Casper do? You just like
No, like I don't like this is like Casper sent a text saying, "Oh, I'm coming round." So like I tidied everything up because I was like, "Oh man, if he comes round just now, it's like this place is a fucking sty." But like I know like
Do that for me.
no, like if you said you're coming, if anybody said they were coming around today, I'd be like, man, I need to get my fingers in
this
because it was like the entire place was just like the one big bin. It's just such a fucking pig. It's unbelievable.
You just threw out the flat and got a new one.
It's like
Just replaced it.
This is a prime example of why I shouldn't live alone because I would be that guy who eventually just has like layers of rubbish on his rubbish, like everywhere.
And the
That would
Simpsons
be.
when they put all the rubbish under the carpet.
Yeah.
Ugh.
They're so fast as well. Socks, pants, everywhere. There was a mad scramble to pick them all up. Raptors in the Kitchen.
Yeah. Join us next week. More of the same. Like I said, Raptors in the Kitchen.
Oh, I should always stop this first.